We're not going to baby.
So happy.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah,
kind of baby.
this is my type of people.
But it says,
Lisa says
if I'm
you're about
getting
to do
fat,
something
this
like
is what it
Trump
says.
accounts.
Oh yeah, did anyone read this?
No.
Absolutely.
Oh, they did read it. See, we weren't even paying attention.
Oh, you
Trump
did? Okay,
account.
well, I don't know.
All right, Donald Trump, Iran talks are going on now.
When is it?
When Iran is talking, they don't
expected?
like to say so. President Trump coming out with, I guess it was the
Wow.
truth. I don't know if it was the truth or no. He's live there. He looks like he's in the White House. He looks like he's in the Oval Office. And he's sitting and everybody else is standing, as is usual.
Yeah.
So get him, Donald. But we're having a great time.
We got a month left of Ramin.
We got a month left of Ram, eh?
Yeah.
So we have to be extra mean to her
Great
now
game.
because we're not going to be
Whoa.
able to be mean to her for a while.
I know, for a
Joey,
long
think
time.
about that, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
We're kidding, of course. We
Yeah.
we love Ram like a sister, man. She's a sister at all of us over here, and we couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I couldn't
for
be
her. And
happier.
Can't wait to see the baby.
Yeah,
in
can
the
bring him
office,
in
right?
here
Like,
and stuff.
Ram, have you decided on a name or no, not
No.
yet? Okay, cool. Nothing yet.
No.
Besides the ultrasound.
That's it. Just oh yeah. Okay, we're off to a great start here. But no, in all seriousness, bring him in. We'll get him reading level 2 in the time of sales and pick right out of the gate, picking some good quality stock.
All right, Katina, man.
All right, man, they're
We're
ready.
going to send it off to you guys, but before we do,
Yeah.
guys, DFNS is absolute. Where the hell is my DFNS chart, man? Joey.
201, my boy.
Yeah, that's fine. DFNS. Guys, it's into day high, 69.75. DFNS is up 146%. It's on the precipice of passing 10 million shares traded on the day. I don't think this is halted up all morning. Trade it carefully as we get into $70. And if you're into this kind of thing, watch this one after 4 o'clock, okay? It could absolutely rip, if it doesn't already, into $100 as the volatility halts will be dropped. Ram, you're getting love in the chat.
Yeah, pure love.
We're dropping 25
Hell no.
here. Durham's, I think that's, what is that? AED, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Something
is. It's
Durham's, right?
It's about
Yeah.
$50.
Congrats, Ram. It's said that the baby learns what you see and hear every day. So we expect baby to be a top-notch trader. I like that one right there, man. We love you. Thank you very much for the comment there. And but she's obviously not watching me trade. She's talking about the big boys over there, Neil and Sean.
Yeah.
Who you guys are going to see in 3 seconds. Send them off, Joey.
Yeah, all right, man. I hope everyone has a fantastic one. Once again, congratulations to Ramin and her husband, roommate, I guess I should say. No, in all seriousness, her husband. No, fantastic stuff. It's always a good thing to hear, and couldn't be more happy for her.
She was. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Pretty sure
Sorry.
this Coke is a Brazilian Diet Coke over there. Finally got a shawarma there at lunchtime. But yeah, congratulations and happy thoughts and everything
absolutely, all the
for
best.
Ramin. So
Awesome news. That's how you start the week off.
no. I told her it's funny because throughout the last little while, I told her that she was looking different in her face. And, I thought it was just smooth.
No, it's a glow.
Like she had a glow about her. Like, that's what I was telling
The glow is
I was
real.
literally.
The glow is real. Yeah.
Yeah, she can confirm it. I was telling her like there's something different, and it's just amazing. So that's so great that the Trader TV Live family is expanding. And I can look to these two deadbeats over here, but they're not going to be having kids anytime soon.
Oh, I don't know.
Sharif
Well,
and
Joe.
Joe. Maybe Joe. No. Joe has a kid already. Remember Milo over there. So
Did I have two?
Yeah, Sharif has 2, man. What do you
Yeah. But anyways, that's amazing. So we say, and if you missed it, Ramin there, I'm going to be
Ramin is
expecting
gonna be
early
around.
October. So, I shouldn't tell Ramin that Gia was 5.5 weeks early. So, don't with no warning at all. But we had a midwife. I don't know if you have a midwife over there, but we had a
Best
midwife.
laid plans.
It's like you can have the best.
It does.
You can plan everything, and then all of a sudden, it's just Marissa felt the baby wasn't kicking around anymore, and then found out that he was losing fluid and all that, and we had to yank.
We went for like one of those it was like a checkup thing on a Friday, and I was like, we should. They say anytime you're going to the hospital and it's near the time, you're supposed to take your go back. She's like, don't worry about it. It's not. And I'm like, no, they specifically said, the midwife said, we take the go bag just in case.
Yeah, you got it.
We didn't come back home on that Friday morning. We ended up back home on the Sunday after a long a couple
Yeah,
of days.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what? It's,
Yeah, but I blame
it's all the best.
like
It's
Fabian
such a
came over
blessing,
here and was
man.
like, "Oh, we're going to go to a $4," and I just thought it was like, okay,
no
we're
one told us
talk
what was
about
happening.
earnings or whatever, and then you and I are just talking about shawarma or something,
Yeah,
and all of a
shawarma.
sudden, Shreve, these guys are having a celebration, and I was like, "What happened? What happened?" Oh, you took multiple donuts there. I like that. I just took.
But there was like 3 different kinds, so I had to have one of each kind because.
Yeah, I think I only
I'm
had
like
the
that.
cinnamon or whatever that middle one was.
Like I had
over
pizza
there.
for lunch, and now I'm gonna eat donuts for a snack.
Yes, we
Yeah,
got
real
to.
healthy.
We got to also acknowledge here something. The market fuego
El Fuego.
right now, as for show, you know, that's it is ripping to the high side right now, up 1.5%. And you know, we got that question: will the Qs? This was earlier on. Will the Qs reach 725? In the next 3 weeks, and I was just resoundingly a yes. Could still be a no, but this is kind of the part where you get going here right now. Actually, the Nasdaq's up 2%. Sorry, that was the ES up 1.5%. So it's the Nasdaq up 2% right there and going and getting going even more. So I mean, everything's been sort of working out here today. It's funny because the only trades that we've been looking at, that I've been having today, was this initial long on Apple. And it's kind of right where we started the trade. And that hasn't done too much. And then we had a couple of shorts on Intel, which had paid, except for that last one. Every single time we hit it, we got out, we hit it, we got out. Then it was stopped out. Those are good outs, and then stopped out the last little bunch there again. So yeah, Intel ripping today as well, up 1.5%. It doesn't seem like it is.
Over your old stomach.
Starting to go right now. But yeah, man, it's going to be a big, hopefully a big August into September, and you know, we're almost through some earnings. We have Palantir coming, and you know, all the big names. We saw Amazon reach all-time highs, I think, this morning again. We'll see if Palantir, they won't not be getting to all-time highs after their report, but we'll see if they can get back going. Maybe this 160 is in play tomorrow. That would be a huge move, but we'll be able to see.
160. Ooh.
Yeah, man. No, it's not. I mean, that's just where we're trying to get to. We're way away from all-time high. Like that's. I don't think we're going to get there tomorrow, but I think if you break through this 137, 138.
I think the 200 period's 150.
The implied
That's
move
why
is
it's like
12%. Like it's up to 140 if it works.
That's if it
Yeah,
closes.
okay,
here.
we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what's going to work out today. And then Google also has been on one since their report. 374. Oh my God. Another 5% upside. Trump says that Trump says that this is last chance for Iran to sign a deal. Last chance.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Let's just go back a couple months when it was their last chance before.
It's never the last
deal with Gulf nations wanting to give talks one last chance, and then you'll find out tomorrow where the Iran talks are. So, you know, you would think that if there's any sort of strength to that statement there and people actually believed it, then USO would not be down 6% right here, because I don't know how well Iran's going to, I mean, they haven't really respected threats yet, you know, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening there. And remember, the Strait of Hormuz is not necessarily the be-all, end-all. There are other ways of getting that oil across. We talked about the East-West pipeline. Sharif had talked about that last week.
Yep.
And more to go on that one, USO. Joe, please clean up those things you dropped. And we'll get,
Garbage.
yeah, there's Joe.
Look, what is this on?
Anyways, okay, that's USO. So, yeah, thanks for all the talks here. We do have everybody live once again here today. So these are either super chats or comments. You put them in there. Neil and I will look at them here this afternoon. No major guests lined up. We do have Kevin O'Leary coming Wednesday at 10:30 there. So we'll talk about a few things with Kevin O'Leary, including I want to talk to him about some sports cards. I think they just bid on some sort of a Shohei Ohtani card. I'm going to talk to him about that one. Good afternoon.
Now that they're going to win the World Series.
Yeah, well, now that it's over.
I think they're over 40% chance at this point in the year on Kalshi's.
Yeah, but I mean, what's going to happen? Like, you have those
think
four pitchers. You don't even need. I don't.
The thing about it that people can't whine and cry about them getting schooled.
Right.
The Detroit A's is Milwaukee and Tampa could have easily beaten that package if they wanted to. Their ownerships were not interested in getting the best pitcher in the league because both of them have they have way better prospects than the Dodgers, and if they wanted them, they could have, but they didn't want to have to do it. So you can't. The free agent thing, you can say anything you want about that. Of course, they have more money, but not for trades. But Nicole Vada, look at the SPY. Everything that you look, well, almost everything you look. I don't want to say everything is breaking out because, unfortunately, there's always something which is weak. Throw USO out there. Oil's not doing anything. But 1.5 points. And would you looky? What was the line from Hook? It's looky something hooky. Doesn't really matter.
I never saw
You are now. I watched that in the theater, the original Hook, the one with Dustin Hoffman. But I was so young. $2 away on the SPY from the all-time. Like, think about that for a second. In the juxtaposed against how far like some of the AI trade pulled back and has still pulled back. Like if you look at Micron is still 30% from the top. Like that's the crazy aspect of it. Intel, I'm kind of cherry picking here because like I'm not saying Apple, I'm not saying Nvidia, but I'm doing that for a point. Like Intel's still a good $50 from the top, like well over 30% from the highs. But the SPY is absolutely fantastic, and that's sort of the thing about just the index and sort of trusting in that its diversification, but also showing it just has not been that ugly of a pullback for a lot of investors. It's the ones that were super heavily leveraged, yes, too, but overweighted in memory and chips. Because if you weren't, then you've been absolutely fine. And today, yeah, that's right. Looky, I've got hooky.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And was Rufio, whatever his name was.
I don't know. All right, so yeah, that's a good one. Hook, I've never seen it. It's Peter Pan, right? Isn't it?
It's probably the best version of it.
Okay.
I gotta finish this.
Yeah, I might have to go get some of those donuts. But yeah, so I'm gonna try a new trade here with Apple, and I can't believe that Apple. I saw someone in the chat say the same thing too. It's like, how is Apple the weak link today, right? I mean, I know they got hit on Friday. I'm not, and then I mean, I guess the big story with Apple was sort of their China look forward there. Was it a bad guide? Like what exactly? I have to try to remember what was going on there with Apple. But we're gonna give it a chance here to 305.50, basically the 200 period moving average. So right now I have a tenth of a unit. We'll try to get to 1 unit by the time it comes down here to 305.50. So I'm actually bidding 305.60 for the other 9/10 of a unit. So if your 1 unit is 100 shares, then right now I would have 10 and I'm waiting for 90 down here. So that's kind of what I mean when we're talking about the positioning. Sometimes they'll say I have a quarter of a unit or whatever. But right now I don't necessarily want to start too high. We're gonna start right there at VWAP. Okay, for that start. And I just realized I'm not think I'm plugged in because Adaira's cracking up over there like something's going on.
Sorry, that he knows Europe better than anyone, including the people running it. That is a direct quote.
He knows Europe better than anybody?
Yeah, he knows Europe better than
I thought it was this headline.
Once President Trump is done being president of the United States, he should just become like whatever chancellor or something. You just go over there, represent Germany, all this stuff, and just be like, you know what, I'm just going to just slowly be the leader of every single country. Well, because he knows more about. Well, he knows more about Europe than pretty much anybody. So I mean, I think it's a reasonable take for him to do that. But interesting time.
He could just.
I'm setting up my
like
headphones now. My bad, everybody.
Just like everything.
Well, that's what I meant. I was looking for the word. It's a chancellor or something of the United Nations.
Solar system. You got to think bigger.
Chancellor of Germany, yeah, but like, isn't there a leader of EU?
Well, there's a Secretary General of the UN, and there's also the leader of the EU as well.
Yeah, so President Trump could probably be both. He could probably hold both of those titles at once. I don't know. Has anyone been Chancellor and President of the United States?
I'm going to imagine no.
And he probably, honestly, he might know more about Canada than anybody else either as well. So he could probably come and get elected up here. The only problem is the whole, you got to be born in certain countries to represent. But anyways, all kidding aside. Yeah, no, I mean, I think if for not one thing, President Trump has a lot of confidence in his own abilities.
Well, that much is
obvious. There's definitely nothing wrong
that's obviously true.
With a little bit of that. But
well, the good thing is, I mean, ultimately here, if we're just going back to brass tacks, so the stock I'm looking at right now is a double top on SMCI, but that's not going to be about this point. It would be that if you look at things right now as they stand, for all the craziness and talk about what's going on in the Middle East and where we're sitting, oil is gapped down and holding, and the market, we just showed you the SPY is about to hit an all-time high. Earnings are through the roof right now. It's been like good quarter after good quarter for just about everybody that's reporting. Like all the numbers have been absolutely fantastic. Inflation, as much as oil inflation has been a big deal, like energy inflation, has been a really big deal, truth is, if you don't have a ton of inflation when it comes to housing, which you don't right now, especially with rates the way they are, then it's hard to argue that rates need to go ridiculously high. That's why I think the market pricing it in and the underlying is still very different. But anyways, we're going to get to the super chat a quick little second. The stock I'm looking at right now is this double top here in SMCI. If it would have broken this candle, I probably would have looked short, but this is like a double top break with room to Friday's 29.3 top. And Frank, not just Frank Rizzo.
Oh, Frank Rizzo.
Frank freaking Rizzo.
Yeah, he's been on
Huge
there
run
before.
so far in Amazon after earnings. Weakish today since the open. Time to trim in the long term before pullback. That's like a question mark.
Yes, probably.
When you're at, some people say never sell things at all-time highs or 52-week highs. I've never not been in something where I wasn't trimming when it does this kind of a move if I'm in a trade. In 3 days, you basically went from support to 20-something%. You know, that's $50 from 23. Like you're absolutely laughing on Amazon. But I think to each their own. Like, is it a trade? Was it in long-term investment? Like, are you buy, hold? Really depends on what your look is. Because for some stocks, you really just sit there and you own it, and you're not really getting in and out of it. But if your intention was only to be in a swing, let's go. I heard that much. We're going to be going up to Adair for some breaking news.
U.S. President Trump not happy here with these oil companies. CVX just dropped to the downside. This was actually named the question that he was asked. XOM also dropping. President Trump this morning was posting about specifically an interview with Chevron CEO Mike Wirth and Maria Bartiromo, and he said that these energy companies need to be basically charging consumers less for oil. He's saying that they're taking advantage of the shortage and, quote, I don't like it. Here's another quote here. Oil firms are making too much money based on the shortage. So he's not happy with this. Again, CVX directly named, so they dropped the most, but you also have XOM. To the downside, you're going to have the likes of potentially OXY. I'll pull up here for you guys. All of them moving a little bit lower, but again, Chevron getting hit the hardest. Back to you.
Was that on X?
Yeah, it was probably on X.
But
That's probably what it is. Yeah, for 100 grand, you would have had maybe about 80 cents there. There goes XO to the downside. But remember, it has to be stuff that he's tweeting. Like people are talking to him, right? Adara, where is this?
Yeah, that wasn't on X.
Are these all tweets?
He's speaking.
He's talking
right
at this event for military families. Though they have not talked about military families for many moons. He's been asked questions. But yeah, another quote that he just said here: Chevron, Exxon made too much money.
Yeah, so I think that he's really passing the buck on a little bit because we had heard that a couple weeks ago where he was upset about, I guess Exxon. Well, yeah, they're both down about $1. Chevron might look a little more there because of the fact that it's $192. But there's the move down there, and he might be right about the amount of money these guys are making. But hey, man, it's the public markets. Like Donald Trump does have DJT himself. So, but yeah, I was just thinking like. This was probably due to come down a little bit anyways. And we had heard a couple of weeks back, I believe it was a weeks back, where he was just saying like based on the price of oil, and it must have been, when USO was down there, the prices at the pumps were not reflected because it was actually back to where we were and I know the war was down here, but we almost got back to those levels, but yet like the price at the pumps were still up like 30% or whatever since the day they invaded. So there was some talk there that potentially the problem was at the pump itself and the Exxon Mobil's when you're going to pump your gas, like here we have Esso there with Exxon. So I know over there in the States, the same kind of ways you actually have an Exxon Mobil station that you can go and fill up at, and that's in Chevron and all that. So that's what they were sort of blaming it with. But yeah, I don't know, USO not really moving too much on that news. And I guess, the major oil names, you can look at an XLE or something that might be all, wrapped up. There's, certain percentages of the top names instilled into this ETF. So this is a name that I really like XLE. It's not back to where I got out. I got out right here at this 50 period, so 56, 57. So still upside from here, I think, in XLE. But yeah, maybe we had just seen a little top there at $60. But hey, you're joining us right now. We want to say thank you to everybody that's here with us. And this is the kind of stuff that you're going to get. We're going to have breaking news, and hopefully, if you think it's going to affect your short-term swing trades, your long-term portfolios, you can trade out of them accordingly, as Neil just mentioned there when he got that talk about Amazon. And I just want to show you one thing. Like I made Marvell my pick in January, right, for that sort of not really contest, but just for what we talked about there. We all made some picks, and just about like when things get a little too spicy, So like we're long Marvels in the 60s, like $60 and $80 range, right? And I mean, it's not a Micron, it's not a SanDisk. It didn't absolutely go hard, but it still went like 500% or something. You know, so when you're in those names, like I was getting some out here when it looked like it stalled. I think we got something out just around 200. Like I was probably getting some out at 100. I'd have to look back and exactly see. And then just before we went into the S&P 500 and there was sort of the additions and deletions and all that, and it was now a member of the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100 and all that, you know, we exited out of some of this trade and it was at 330. And so we did get the tops on some of it. So now when you look back and you sort of take your average outs, you know, you're probably still somewhere in the mid twos. So it's not like you're ever going to catch the top, you know, or the bottom when you're buying it either. So it's just kind of like what is getting better for me is to try to think about when you're exiting in and out of positions, it's almost the same way where you buy stuff, right? Like on the way down, as SoFi is getting worse and worse, but I still like, you know, the underlying and like, you know, the business about it is, you know, you're always like when it came back in here and, you know, I'm the first one to tell you guys, I bought 20 and I buy it live on the show. So I don't have a problem telling you guys where I'm buying. 20s, I think I even bought here too, like 25, 20s, and then on the way down in, my last buy was at 17. I did not buy anything down here at 15. So we're gonna be out of the money on that trade. But as it's getting worse, you're averaging in. So it's kind of like you can almost do the same thing on the way back up, right? Like as it's getting to levels that you believe are decent outs, even if it's for a small loss, you could take some out there. And then if your thesis is right and it starts to mature up or whatever starts to happen, then at the end of the day, you'll look back and I'm telling you, like you'll have made money on it. So watch out for your, you know, how you're trading, what your average price is. But for me, that's helped me is to try to think about a stock sometimes in like, as if I'm averaging down into it, it's kind of like averaging out as well. And obviously that's clearly the way I trade. All the time here as well. So just stay consistent with whatever you're doing. And if you have a long-term idea, then let it be long-term. Like we're in front of the markets every day. So that's the problem with us is like, I'm always looking down and saying, oh my God, like Amazon's down 5% today. Like I got to sell. What have I done? Only to see it go back up 3% tomorrow. So it's like at the end of the day, if you're not staring at your portfolio every day and you're looking at it like Michael came on this morning and was talking about, you know, take a look at your positions every month maybe, you know, and then potentially reassess. Because if you're looking at your longer term trades and you're looking at it for, you know, 3 times a day, then yeah, you're going to have those impulse buys and sells. And that's dangerous, right? It's like that pizza that I see over there. Thank you, Chester. I see this pizza just sitting over there and it's like, and then Ramin's got the donuts over there.
I already had
I'm
pizza
trying to,
for lunch. I
know,
can't do that.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, I don't.
I had pizza for lunch and then donuts, and now there's more pizza. Oh, it's a good thing I'm coaching, not playing tonight, because that'd be a problem. All right, we're gonna go to. I don't want to do the window to the wall, but we're going to the wall.
We're going to the wall. We're going to the wall.
Why not? It is called To the Window, to the Wall, and I will keep the segment name. I know people have their opinions on it, but why not, guys? It's To the Window, to the Wall, where we pull up an infographic window and we talk about it on the wall. Now, this face may be familiar to you if you've been on X at all over the past probably 6 months or so. This man's name is Leopold Aschenbrenner. Now, he was a former OpenAI researcher, and then about, I think, mid-2024, about just over 2 years ago from now, he released an article called Situational Awareness on, I guess, the future of the AI trade and just AI in general going forward. Off of that paper, he then released or started this firm here called Situational Awareness LP. And, you know, this actually really took off. Again, started this year, people started talking about some of his AI calls. He was really heavily involved in names, mostly like Nebius, Bloom Energy, the ones you see here. These were his largest positions according to the company's or the group's most recent 13F holdings. That would be, again, as of Q1 2026. But then what happened was what happened last week. Last week, a lot of these names like Nebius, like BE, like SanDisk, they start tanking. He's heavily involved. So what ends up happening is we get this report on Thursday mornings, that would be after the major sell-off on Tuesday and Wednesday, that Aschenbrenner and Situational Awareness were forced to sell all of their public holdings, this has since been confirmed by Aschenbrenner himself, to Citadel. Now this was significant because Citadel came out earlier that week and they were basically the only firm that was saying they thought there'd be a rate hike on Tuesday or on Wednesday. So this led, of course, to all this excitement in the market to the downside. It made Aschenbrenner's positions even worse. He got margin calls. This was also ahead of his wedding over the weekend. So he basically was left with no choice but to sell. He's addressed the whole situation in a letter It's an interesting look, but either way here, this is the extent to which his firm was in trouble. So these are the position size, again, kind of estimated based on the 13Fs from Q1. And some of these positions were down here, anywhere from 50%, these are just the largest positions, all the way to like nearly 80% decline from tops here for SHAZ. So he might have still been in the money, but due to the amount of margin that was being used and the fact that his other bets were like shorts on names like Adobe, even his hedges were not protecting him. So this is a really rough story. This is, again, only a quick summary, and I think just like, a quick visual shock of the extent to which these names decline from highs. But you can be riding high and then crashing low in just a moment. That's how this market works. This is, I think, a really scary story and a good cautionary tale about the importance of risk management. Brian Shannon, a frequent guest on our show, had a couple of really good posts about this. I would recommend checking those out. But if you want to look at this infographic, you can find it on X at TTV Research. This is today's little bit cautionary tale segment of To the Window, to the Wall, as we send you back over to Sean and Neil for more trading action.
You're really. I say this all the time. You're really smart until things.
Yeah, like there was. I read something which I don't know if is true. It was something along the lines of they were up over 400% in the first. I don't know if it was the first third of the year or whatever it was. First quarter of the year. So obviously they were doing really well. But it was just, the other fact is he was short just a bunch of other software names that would have got smoked. Those positions, because even the names like Adobe, like. It gets wild what those things have done from some of the lows. ServiceNow, equally impressive, but Adobe, I mean, we probably crapped on Adobe almost every single quarter. Sneeze here. But that's off like 190, so like $70. Like you're talking about, you're over 30% from the lows here on Adobe. I mean, timing is everything. Like the thing is, like he might have still been in the money on some of the shorts, but just like the overall portfolio, I guess, right? Because some of the longs would have gone out of the money for sure, but the pressure on some of those shorts. And then that unwinds, and then you cause a bit of a cascade. Some people were following him, and then you get things that seemingly, I know Crane were saying, oh, and then that's who was selling Intel because it went too far to the downside after their strong quarter. And it's like, well, if this was a part of it, that sort of is what it is. You get that kind of pressure, and it can be very, very real. So
I still like the idea.
Edgies blow up all the time. Like,
yeah, and I think it's an interesting story because like if you like that CoreWeave or Nebius or any of those names, like those
it makes it so different buying them now.
Right, because now you sort of might what was kind of maybe underneath that trade before. So in CoreWeave, there it is, man. Now it's like back to back. I remember, like I said, I wasn't here on Friday, but like that would look like an up day again, even though we're quoting it red. But that's now 3 straight up days right there. And another one, the big one on that list, of course, as Adara had so eloquently put together. And you can go find that obviously on Trader TV Research. We can't say enough about that page as there's so much information. And okay, perfect. And the link is now in the chat. These are the names. Like this is what we're talking about. Boeing is up 7%
today.
Is that?
Oh.
Yeah. Is that what I just heard? Boeing certification. Yeah. What happened here, Adara? Why did I miss this? This must have been...
A baby Boeing got FAA certification. I think it's like the smaller F-37. I know Sia mentioned it on her interview.
Wow,
as well.
okay.
That's the deal here with BA, and I can pull that up as well here.
So that's why Boeing is going?
But yeah, they certified the Boeing 737 MAX 7, smallest model of the FAA, of the 737 MAX family, FAA certification. Congrats to Kelly Ortberg. We love Kelly in this house, as you guys know.
Yeah.
Another thing that really interesting in that story is that Southwest Airlines had been expected to fly that before the pandemic, but because of the regulatory scrutiny, they didn't get to do that. And,
I'm
going to be epic.
I'm more bullish on baby Ramin than I am on baby Boeing. So,
well, yes.
That's fair. But right now, I just think that we're getting back into this 235 area, and this is another one of those stories again. Like if you're swinging this and maybe you're expecting that certification to come today, take the win and maybe put a little bit in your pocket there and see if it does continue to break out from these levels. Because all it's really done is just come back off. I mean, it's nice to see it holding downside here when you're talking about the 50 and the 200 period, but still has some work to be done to get back up there to the upside into that 250 marker. So we'll wait to see what happens up there. I just want to check back.
That breaks 260 on the monthly. Ooh, baby, that is a huge level on.
Here's XOM all the way back, by the way. I just wanted to show that because that story we had there when President Trump was like, they're making too much money.
It's
That
an
was
interesting
not
characterization.
something there. Do you guys know the words that follow? Do you guys know the words that follow to the window, to the wall? Get your this one on the wall.
No,
I don't think.
You know we're not saying them on
Yeah, I was just
YouTube,
trying to do
okay?
it, trying there.
All right,
I'm gonna sing
Anthony.
with that song because some of these stocks make me sweat. Yeah, you're definitely. Oh yeah, sweat drip down my. Yeah, that's right, down my back. Yeah, that's what it was.
If you guys have not heard the amazing Mark Zuckerberg and T-Pain cover of this song that absolutely does exist, it is weirdly acoustic. I highly recommend it. It's really entertaining to hear Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh,
act
what
like
the-
He's never
Hold on a
been
second.
profane in his whole life.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, Neil, it's amazing. When I hear those lyrics, I can only hear them in Zuckerberg's voice now.
I'm gonna-
It's ruined the song for me. Or saved
okay.
it, depending on your point of view. But yeah.
I don't know if.
I'm sending it to you now, Neil.
Yeah, but I don't know if like epic or amazing Mark Zuckerberg in a song.
I don't want-
that I'm
if-
going to be thinking about.
If I don't want to see Mark Zuckerberg doing any rapping, but I mean, it sounds like it might be.
No, I'm
might
not
be
gonna.
pretty funny.
I'm not buying that.
I actually.
I'm selling that Mark Zuckerberg is good on any song.
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, the minute that guy did the Benson Boone thing where he jumped off the thing, I don't know. That guy's lost me. And I'm like a pretty decent investor in the stocks. So I don't know. I mean, come on, guys, relax, guys. Over there, but yeah. So I actually made a mistake.
Send me that one.
I'm supposed to be getting longer down here at the 200 period, and for some reason, I had a bit. I must have canceled my bid there because I put my stop at 305.50. So remember, we only had 10% of a unit, and I never added to it when I meant to. So right now we're just going to. I know my price is 305.51s, but this was the whole trade, was to get it down here and then put on that one unit. So now let's start to get a little bit more off as we come back up to the upside. Now I only punched back in half of a unit, so right now I only have 60%. So we'll have to wait, see if we get there. We get a 69er, a little bit out there. Now we'll wait to see if it does make its way back up into 306. So let's just offer a little bit more. We're going to go to 305.75, and there that is right there. So that's a money trade right here. Now we'll wait to see if we can get back up. Remember, I was like, I'm not sure why Apple's so beat up there. I took another fill at 75. So here it goes, man. Big trade alert happening now. It's not huge as in the amount of money we're making here, but I like that move right there off of the 200 period moving average. And again, I put my stop out at 305.50 when I should have been getting more there. So I don't know what that was all about. But now here it goes, 305.80 upside. I'm just in like a different world today. Happy for Ramin over there, who has made an announcement. If you haven't heard, Trader TV family is getting bigger at the beginning of October. So we're really happy for her there. And it's kind of like selfishly, it's a lose for us because we lose.
Well, yeah.
But that's
But it's like the happiest.
yeah,
thing
that's
that
like
can
not
happen.
a good take, but I'm just saying, like, we'll miss her.
Yeah.
So hopefully she'll still kick around and do all that. She's the one that gets me and Neil and I looking good at the big screen over there.
Yeah, like all those
I have
like,
no idea who's going to
lessons
do that.
we
Now
do.
we actually have to do work now. Like this is not going to go over well. So we'll have to celebrate Ramin and tell her
But we're happy.
big congratulations to that. Of course, yeah, we're super, super happy. We're super thrilled. As they say, there's a trader born every minute, and there will definitely be one born in the beginning of October as well. So congratulations again to Ramin and her family. And back over to Sia at the desk.
Thank you so much. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing
how
at
come
the
I don't
moment.
hear
You just
Sia?
SPY that's currently up very close to 1.5%.
Flash.
Triple Qs are up over 1.5%, closing into 2% on the day almost. The Dow is up 1.2%, and the IWM climbing above 1.5%. Let's take a look at two things I want to talk to you about. IGV, that's the software stocks have risen as a group. Tech names outside of semiconductors have also caught a bid. The iShares Expanded Tech Software Sector ETF, that is the IGF, has climbed more than 3% midday trading, remaining lower, however, 8% year to date. Notable advancers also here keep an eye out for include CRM, that's Salesforce's shares have nearly gained 2%. Also ADBE levels, I want to check right now, shares have gained almost 1.5%. Let's take a look also at MT over here. So the stock has climbed more than 1% after the company has announced a technology partnership with Microsoft. And the company has said that Microsoft Azure will be serving as the backbone in modernizing its technology system, and at the same time will implement other infrastructure services by Microsoft into its systems. I just want to check how Microsoft is doing at the moment as well. Up steadily, greatly almost. just not steadily. 5.4% on the day.
Thank you.
This should never ever be sent to me again. I'm
I'm
listening
gonna listen to it then. I guess.
This is something else. Is there a video of this?
There's a video of them recording it, but I don't think it has the whole thing. But I love that they call themselves Z-Pain. I love that he 369. And even the better part that I didn't mention when I first told you guys about this is this was a 20-year anniversary gift to his wife, Priscilla. Because believe it or not, this is their song. Now that makes a little bit more sense when I tell you that they met, of course, in 2004 at a party at Harvard. So I think that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I just love everything about the fact that this exists, and it is in my head more than I care to admit. So yeah.
Well, I know it now. I mean, now that I know the story that it was, for the wife there, it's a little bit better there. But it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. But shout out to T-Pain there. I guess he's not using his. He's known for that. What do they call the auto tune? Auto tuning there. Yeah. So.
He's actually the crazy thing about it is he's actually a very good singer. T-Pain. He just. He just basically, he just found a sound that was interesting and cool. But then, like so many people started actually using autotune that couldn't sing, so that it turned like this bad notion. He should just use the talk box, man. Most people don't understand the difference between autotune and a talk box. Like the talk box, the talk box was an actual mute. Like the best way to think of it, remember Blackstreet? So some old R&B groups, Roger Troutman, like this old school, like you basically, there's like this tube that you sing into, but you're actually manipulating it with the keyboard live. Like you ever watch someone try to use the talkbox live? Like you're creating synthetic music with your voice and the keyboard, and it's really hard to do.
Right. Well,
but it's not the same thing as autotune. And so people will hear the talkbox and be like, that's not, autotune's a very different thing. Like you're not, there's no skill involved with autotune, but to use a talkbox, like I've seen the best that do it live and still sometimes screw it up.
Okay.
So Teddy Riley from Blackstreet was one of the best all time at that.
I saw T-Pain live at something. I think he opened, I went to Lil Wayne a long time ago, and I'm pretty sure it was T-Pain and Lil Wayne, not just because of rhymes, but I'm pretty sure I did see him live here in Toronto at one time. NEXR now halted 1.8 million shares, and just a name that's been halting, I guess, many times there today, and downside right there. And the only reason I'm bringing it up because it's halted, but also because potentially breaking below $3 right now. That would be the day's low here on a halt, and it's not a great story if you're long. It's tapping 260 right now. So it looks like it'll be down about another 10% here once we open back up on NEXR. And then this seems like another name that we've looked at before, FCUV. Doesn't look like it's halted today yet, maybe. I don't see any volume breaks. So yeah, right into here, just off of a halt. It looks like we might have halted. Did I see a volume break in here somewhere? Right here? Yeah, right away at 941. Yeah, looks like looks like we did halt at 947 and in around $15. And then there's the volume break again. So right about here again at 11. So now opened back up and not doing a whole heck of a lot. So, all right, that Apple trade, just to review it, it's the only trade I've been in here so far this afternoon. We're just long off the 200 period. It's been my number one stock. I'm getting stopped out on this one, breaking back through 25s. So to the downside, we'll stop out of that one. So this is momentarily. The reason why I thought there could have been some get up was I wanted to see if it could hold the 200, see if it could hold VWAP, because the market's up 2% or was, and ES still holding as well. And I was just like, Apple, I don't know, should get some get up to it. I expecting it to try to go, but it looks like Apple right now is continuously moving lower here. That's Apple. So we'll wait for that one. And then tonight, of course, right away, I believe it was 405. We'll double check. We'll do a little earnings.
405.
Yeah, we'll do like a little earnings rundown there, because I'm sure there's some tweets out about it from Adara. But yeah, Palantir tonight. So that's up 2%. Right. So we'll be able to see where that name goes later on. And remember, we're now 10 cents away from just this Apple getting stopped out. Remember, we only had half a unit on the reload here, and we were able to get out of some. So I still have, though, 2/3 of that position left. So it's going to be a hit here on Apple.
Before I get to because I had actually had a poll up, and then we got into the discussion, talked about Ramin and whatnot, and we'll talk about Palantir in a second. But that breakout, no, not yet. Sorry, I know I led you into that, and then of course you brought the poll up, which I haven't started yet. That breakout on SMCI, I got triggered, but it didn't break the high. So that's a false trigger. I got out in the prior bar wick, but it's actually a double top now. Like it did not make the hold, bottom tail and breakout. It actually rejected the high. So I'm short the lower high because it never broke the HOD. I said I was going long if it broke the HOD. Probably just a dark pool wick. as I have Phil Lack next to me right now.
I was gonna say I'm gonna start playing my poker hands very, very.
You're the Unabomber.
Yeah, I know.
You know Phil Lack.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, there, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
One of the original guys. There's a lot of traders.
He's one of the.
A lot of poker players.
He's one of the old school TV, like Poker After Dark and all that stuff.
I got recognized again at the tournament this weekend, so I realized I got to go a little more undercover over here. Some guy comes up to me after we won. Because we were raising the trophy up a couple times. There, he's like, "Oh man, great coach and a great trader." I'm like, "I'm a much better coach than trader," but thank you so much for that. And all right, I just want to look at SpaceX again when we get a second.
Oh, the headline is that he concludes remarks. Okay, before, just very quickly, I wanted to make sure we got this up. There's only one name that matters after the bell tonight. Shout out to anybody that actually cares about Snapchat. If you care about Snapchat's earnings, then you're in the 0.0001%. Palantir's expected move, I believe, is 12%. If I'm wrong, then apologies. After the bell, Palantir, what do you think?
Bad man she loves.
So this is simple. Expected 12%. So 1 is over 12%. 2 is you think it's up, but it's less. 3, you think it's down, but it's less than the expected move. And if you think it's a dumpster fire, type 4 for PLTR. So let us know in the chat. I'm actually going to go with a 2 here.
Okay.
I don't think I'm thinking less than the expected move, but I think it can be up as some of the softwares come back, and it hasn't really gone that far. But I'm not really expecting more than the expected move. Down is winning right now, 33% early on. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, jump into the chat first off, and so you can be part of the poll. And then all you have to do is type a number, and it's pretty simple. 1 up more than the expected move, 2 up but less than the expected move, 3 down less, and 4 down a boatload, which has been a lot of names. We've had a lot of really big movers after earnings, so maybe Palantir is going to lead it off. Maybe not the most anticipated relative to SpaceX, but it's one of the biggest ones, most important ones this week. So we'll leave that one up for everybody. Probably throw something different at the end of the day, maybe.
I'm not smart enough to figure out the less than and greater than signs. I've always thought about I always have to ask myself, and they tried to teach you the alligators eating the bigger number, it's pointing to the big number. I have no idea.
Alligator?
No, it's going to the bigger number.
Did they use
an
alligator?
Open mouth or I don't know, something like that. I have no idea. This is why I was confused at a very young age, and it was just now I have absolutely no idea. I think the problem with Palantir would just be the fact that it's in that space, right, where a lot of great earnings reports aren't really being rewarded. Amazon's was, so we'll see if they can be. I mean, I don't know what we're looking for. I think we're looking for an extension on their consumer side of the business there, and then I mean the military contracts are there. I like to see them do something different. I don't know, roll something out, a new platform of some sort. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think Palantir just needs to do a little bit of a shift because everybody knows, it's one thing to go from $9 to 200, and we're happy to take that ride with them. But there's another thing to now you're kind of stuck, and Palantir's stock has just sort of been stuck in the middle right now. So we'll have to wait to see where that one's going. I think right now we're talking about being stuck somewhere. VWAP seems to be something on SpaceX. I mean, coming into here 109.75 VWAP, we just got a pretty nice bounce off of it. It's not like it was huge. We bounced maybe 30 cents or so. It's hard with polarized and everything. It's hard to see. But yeah, right into there. SpaceX right now 110, 11. That's been a top 110.10 is what I'm trying to get at. But I'd like to see some kind of a reaction here, breaking either through VWAP, because I did like it today as a short. And the initial trade that I wrote down as the short was 109. So we didn't even get a chance really to trade through that. I mean, 109 was never a thing. The interesting thing about 109 is on the way back in, that's where it bounced, and that's where it just bounced again. That's 109. So maybe we're on to something with that level, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a short. And I'm going to say the same thing I said earlier. It's very difficult to look at something the day of or day after, trying to find some key levels. We did get shaken out a little bit of our Intel short, and it was only because it broke 91. I was trying to have tighter stops at this time of day, and it does go up to 91.50. So potentially, I still think a short on Intel. Kind of the same thing what we did with Apple there, except for the fact is if the market's going to fall down, Intel and the whole space. And I don't know what AMD's doing. We saw Nvidia take off earlier. AMD back to 485. That's pretty good, right? Was its low 440? Yeah, look at that. That got into 4. That got lower than that. That got into 430. And nice day for AMD today, battling back as well. So yeah, some different ups and downs there today on some of these stocks. The only thing that's hitting for me is XOM. I'm seeing nothing on my scanner. I'm actually just going to refresh it.
Yeah, well, I'll call it the trade rate, but it's a hot list on eSignal, but it's a trade rate that's a scanner I'm using. Nothing too crazy. Like the only thing that's abnormal that stands out might be grab. I was just asked in the chat to look at REPL here on the daily. That is one nice looking candle for REPL, but it's also one heck of a rejection every time it's been trying to break out above 12. But now you're starting to go. I see what you're getting at. Like you get the gap, you got the hold over 12 this time. Just needs to make some kind of a press into 13 for sure. This one we might have talked about this morning, but maybe not in the context of the 10% move that it is now. SoFi, almost 10%. This is now back above. After earnings, they always sell the earnings in SoFi. I don't know if is there a stock that more consistently, regardless of the quarter, like the sentiment on the day, like when you sit down in the morning that SoFi is reporting, the sentiment is to fade it every single time?
GitLab, almost always
GitLab?
GitLab. Last time GitLab was up in a quarter was September 2024, off the top of my head. And maybe last quarter it was up, but I am tempted to think it wasn't because GitLab be GitLabbing.
Well, there you go. We've mocked that company too sometimes. But SoFi gets the turnaround.
Yeah.
Great, an unbelievable turnaround. Like that was the low right at 10 o'clock. The same morning, that's your low, and it's been basically running ever since. I know Friday was a bit of a weird day at the open because lots of things like tanked on Friday, and then that was an obvious bottom. But outside of the opening, like really just the opening range on SoFi, it was all buying on Friday outside of that. Just a wild one. And then they just released this like rocket ship to the upside. But it's not just them. Like SoFi's up, and Robinhood's going to be up today, like the hooded one. Maybe not nearly as crazy, but 6% is 6% here for Robinhood. Similar, like wipeout bottom, reversal. This takes 94. Yeah, buddy. This 94 here, because it still hasn't done the full rounded bottom move there on Robinhood. Tomorrow, I think that can be a bit of a play. Looking for some continuation in a breakout. All right, reverse SMCI, it's already catching a bid from 80 to 70, and then we're bidding just under 60 in the volume weighted average price, although VWAP's going to be a moving target, so I'm not going to have a bid just sort of sitting there the entire way. The floppy disk, great name. Mm-hmm. It's so wild to have, I'm going to date myself, but to have been able to live through like all of it, Betamax, floppy disk, thumb drives, which nobody even uses anymore. And then
there was a 3.5
CD-ROM.
we had DVDs.
We had DVDs, like everything from the beginning to now. None of it is legit. But thank you for pointing out Reddit. That's up 11%.
Reddit had that little bit of a situation.
The thing with Reddit is everybody knew the report was all good. It was that whole breakup with Alphabet thing. Like that was the concern. Is just the decoupling with Google and what that meant for them going forward with Google search cannibalizing, and them saying, hey, look, well, that's not, we're going to break up with you if we don't change this relationship. And ultimately, they probably got punished for that because it was strong guidance, it was a strong beat across the board, good growth, and everything that you would have wanted to see. And sometimes people throw out the baby with the bathwater. Look at that clean breakout for Reddit. It's still, to me, even if a good move like this still has like the 3-day rule. Right? Like it hasn't even filled in the gap. You could immediately reverse after a couple of days and then head right back into a downtrend. But that's a great start for Reddit. Of the names that had gotten squashed, it wasn't even close. We put that poll up. It was overwhelmingly Reddit was which one of the names on earnings that got smoked did you want to buy? And it was the ones that were down like 20% or so. And Reddit was the leader. Just want to remind everybody for these polls, like the Palantir poll we just put up, and you're watching us on TikTok or anywhere else, you can vote just by typing your number as well. Everybody gets a vote. All you got to do is, doesn't matter any chat that we have, you just type the 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then you can make your voice heard. This one is about as even as it's ever going to be. Like nobody's winning. All you can say is that the up more than 12% is only 21%. Everybody else, it might as well be like just dead even. Like Down's 28%. We have no leader right now, so everyone seems to be very confused as to what is going to happen with Palantir tonight. gonna make a reload here just at the lower high on SMCI, but look how quickly that bounced off the 70 to start filling 80s again. Relentless.
Yeah,
There's been
SMCI is
some of
decent
this.
stock there.
But it's only a point up, which is wild given how strong some of these other things are.
Last night at Downsview Park, there was that Veld festival, and it's like, it was pouring rain, and all I heard at my house, and I'm far away, I heard so much, let the beat drop, and it was just crazy. Like, it sounded like such a good time, and I was just sitting there with Marissa. We were underneath our little canopy and everything outside, and we had just gotten back and from a nice, obviously, weekend there at Canada, and it was just like, we were sitting there, I was just like, I felt so bad for everybody because it's like it's a rave, you know? And I know like what people wear, next to nothing, and it was like freezing cold, and the rain was pouring down, and I just felt so bad. Like the music kept playing, and I was just like thinking to myself,
You know what?
like,
Some people might be having fun.
oh, I'm sure. I mean,
hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure if you drop certain things, you can have lots of fun. But at the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, like everyone's freezing. So she just messaged me that the tables, so they were selling VIP tables there, were 20 grand. And there's pictures of people hiding underneath the tables because of the rain was just coming down so hard. So I was like, oh, maybe they got their money's worth then.
What is it like? That ain't Live nightclub. It's a table. Come on, son.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at that price, yeah, it looks like a lot of people came prepared though. There's a lot of rain jackets and rain. Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be, it was pretty torrential. We're lucky
Better come prepared.
to have gotten our
the
baseball in, and yeah, it was thankfully at the end of the day. Oh, here's my look there from the gym. All right, so the area was right there. This is at the end of it all. We raised up that trophy there. Shout out to my Wisconsin family out there as well, as the Green Bay Packers are always represented.
Big Ten country.
There as well. Yeah, Big Ten country. Yeah, Wisconsin has a pretty good program.
The Badgers.
Football, that's for sure. All right, and basketball. Yeah, Wisconsin's.
Well, they get probably better basketball than football, but.
Be lucky enough that maybe my daughter will play for Wisconsin one day in women's hockey. They have a really strong program there as well. All right, I think we're going back to the board there, to the desk with Sia.
The IWM is currently up 1.5%. Let's take a look at three individual tickers. KOS, 185 million. There's reported earnings in $185 million in net income and $617 million in revenue, all driven by higher production and prices. However, down over 5%. Cosmos Energy over there. AMC is something I want to mention that was up pretty well earlier in the day, has however turned flat, but announced that it has generated highest total volume revenue in the United States and globally in AMC history during a single weekend, Wednesday through Sunday, including the highest ever admissions revenue and highest ever food and beverage revenue, all thanks to the Spider-Man Brand New Day movie that made its debut on Wednesday at Odeon Cinemas and Thursday domestically across all AMC theaters. Also, EZRA, that's the final ticker for today. Reliance Global Group, that's up almost 46% on the day. They've signed a letter of intent to sell Altria's Benefit Consulting for $11 million in cash. So EZRA soaring up above 45%.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, here, I asked Marissa if there's a video.
Intense.
This is from them, the Veld Music Festival, and someone here, I guess, in water there. So I don't know. I was trying to see if there's actual video about all that stuff. But anyways, welcome to the
Now that's
party,
coming prepared.
over there. Yeah, exactly. Bringing one of those boats to get around. Anyways, fun times happening. Oh, I have a trade idea. All right. So stupid I am. All right, bouncing off VWAP, right? There's the bounce off VWAP. So there's a confirmation. There's a confirmation again. Obviously, we'd love to be long down in here, but we're gonna wait to see if it does break through 126. The top there is 05. I'm gonna make sure it confirms. I'm gonna go on 10s. Okay, so if we break that up, and the reason why I think I like this trade is mark it up. And I said we would sort of avoid stocks that do have earnings, but there's a lot of you in the chat talking about Palantir a little bit, and I'm not just going to trade it just for that reason. But I like the hold there. I like the hold there, and the breakout higher. I mean, if there are people nervous about the report, maybe they're short. Who knows? Covering. I don't think there's like a big move happening today where people are going to like panic and say, "Oh my God, I'm not prepared for this, and what am I going to do?" So, it could be an absolute nothing burger. We hit that and we come right back in, and I might punch the top. And if I do that, the stops are always going to be right here, this 25 period moving average. So we'll watch as it sort of loops back up. We'll hopefully get a better price. So right now my out is going to be roughly, it looks like about 25 to 30 cents. So if we do break that top there on Palantir, it's something that I'm looking to trade out of. So that's going to be a trade right there, trade into. Breaking that top we'll get into, and then that's where we're going to get out. And the only other idea that I was looking at, because again, scans are coming up, right? And here it is right here. I restarted my scanner. So PayPal, Uber, these are all VWAP scanners. There's gold is hitting. So gold, PayPal, Uber, Amazon, VWAP, Disney, VWAP, Palantir's got my attention. That was a while ago. So I was just a little bit there for SpaceX and SpaceX as well. So there are a few different things here. Hearing something about Iran right now. What? Iran's preparing to attack Ukraine? Okay, that's interesting. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure that's what I just heard. So we'll see what happens there. The multi-world powers are uniting or something over here. Like, are we getting Russia, Iraq? That might be a problem. So we'll wait to hear. That might have been misreported, but let's just wait to see what winds up happening on that one. All right, so just waiting for that and thinking about SpaceX here. I don't know if there's enough movement in it, and I'm not sure SpaceX is going to be the right stock. Microsoft today, absolutely just mooning there, up 5.5%, 6%. So that's been a good trade for Microsoft off of their latest report. So we really like that stock. And the only other, I had Intel written on here, SpaceX. Oh, I had Alibaba as a long. I don't know. I feel like I didn't get involved because it was at 128 early, and that's kind of where we were, 129. I'd written down 124, or we're not into there yet. So, I like Alibaba. I like that Kimi model, and I think there's some use cases for it, obviously. So, just a couple interesting things there coming through.
There was some conflict between Iran and Ukraine. Like, there was like a...
Someone said Iran, he heard that Iran apologized, apparently.
Yeah, there was something, last week or something. So there
in the CAPC&C. There's people are talking about it.
Okay, yeah, it's in the chat. There you go.
So I guess maybe I was right about
apologized and then comment back. That someone's saying the NASDAQ will collapse now. I'm just trying to, what is going to cause the NASDAQ to collapse? NVIDIA is super strong. That could roll over a little bit here on NVIDIA. Microsoft has been like the Don Data it was at least at the open. Hey, that could be curling. A little double top action, a little bit of a pullback there on Microsoft. The other one to watch would be Google. What's Alphabet doing? It's so strong. Everything is so strong today, but they're all putting in lower highs. I could see it. Effectively, but if you're already looking at shorter high plays, I actually looked at that PayPal that we're going to go to see in a quick little second, because you mentioned PayPal at VWAP. Hey, if the market rolls over, here's something underneath VWAP and rejecting it, which is a better pattern than being strong. So this breaks this little flat bottom. That actually looks pretty interesting to myself. Let's go to the desk with Sia.
What you said, Neil, was right. It happened. Ukraine did strike an Iranian ship that happened on the 25th of July in the Caspian Sea. But so what they were doing right now is that Iranian Major General Razai has just said that we were prepared to attack 3 points in Ukraine. But after that, the country apologized and we canceled the attack. So that's what's going on. That's all. Nothing crazy.
So it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, no, nothing too major there. Here we go. It's on the table. Oh, that's nothing. Oh, here, Marissa just sent me this. This is that 20K thing she's talking about here. People hiding under these tables last night. You can see the rain. Just that's the stage. It's an absolute blast there. But I guess he's got a whole bunch of people underneath their tables there. And this is what it looks like. Absolutely. Look at the rain. It's coming down there. But anyways, I'm getting way too old to go to these things, but that would be really fun to go there. Just absolute craziness. And to hear that, we had such a good time at that Post Malone concert, and it was near the same spot there. But okay. Alibaba not really moving around, so we are waiting for Palantir to take out the top there. Nice pushback there in Intel. Is there anything else you guys are looking at that potentially we have it? This NEXR opens back up, halts down, does not really, it does it break free? Yes, it does, but it didn't, not for very long, man. It got down to 280, so it's back into the lows of the day again on NEXR, so we can wait to see if that's happening. And there's nothing else halting right now at all. We had Boeing there with a sort of certification of the baby Boeing, but that's not the baby that I'm interested in anymore. So baby Boeing right there up to 232. And we'll see if that can keep going up 7.5%. This is Boeing's best day, I think, again, since I don't know if I heard since 2008 or something, but I heard some kind of a story there, up 7%. I don't
really, and since 08.
Well, no, I feel like
there had to have been a COVID day.
Well, I just went down to tariff tantrum day, and that was the way back up when Trump tweeted that everything's going to be okay. 140 up to 160. I think this is 7%. So that 140 to 160, that's $20. That would have been more did 7% right there. So I don't know, whatever I heard probably doesn't seem to be right. But there it is, nice move up there on Boeing. So definitely well spotted and well played. Oh, here's what, my kids are doing something here. They're doing some, looks like Lego action right now. So my wife went to Costco and looks like picked up some Lego. So
yeah, that's never a bad thing. Never a bad thing.
Do we have to go back there? Did we hear go back?
Oh, I thought.
No. Okay, good. No problem.
We got Rip and Travman both asking about Tesla in Power Hour. I mean, it's at the high. Everything is so, like, it's one of those strong names. Like, it's right up here for that potential breakout at 325.
Yeah, this is what my ridiculous kids are doing.
Yeah, I could see like a false break maybe, and then back down in could be a bit of a play for Tesla. But worth a watch. 325, if you zoom out further on the 15-minute, is, in addition to this 324, like double top that's going to be put in here for Tesla. But it has to show a topping tail wick. Like, you got to see it reject or something. It's been way too.
They said that they're going to do.
I like those. Those are.
They're going to do dumb faces so that Dad doesn't show it on air.
Well, that was
so that backfired pretty quickly right there. I don't know what they're building. This looks like a Minecraft, whatever those guys are called. The zombies or those.
I used to know the name of them.
Yeah, they're villagers. Is that right?
Isn't that? It's not.
Creepers.
Oh, creepers. That's what.
Thank you, Fabian. Creepers right there. So, yeah, you're wrong. This is my son. He's 14 and he has size 14. So okay, there goes Palantir right now. Just break. So we do have to go back there. We're gonna watch out for Palantir right now. Broke. So again, half of a unit. Not trying to go crazy. We're gonna go long right there. We're gonna put our stop in right now. And remember, this is what we do. Like, the minute we get filled, we go immediately into stop mode. Like, we don't trade. I don't trade without a stop. So that's going in there right now. And that was always the plan, right? I always trying to look to see, where the stop is, how much do we like to trade, what's the sizing going to be like right there. So we'll try Palantir into the close. And if it's out, it's out. But I think bouncing off VWAP, bouncing off VWAP, I just don't want to give this trade all the way back because, losing right now out of the blue, 50, 60 cents, not really worth it. So we'll mess around with this right now and give it about 30 cents back down to the downside. So, all right, we'll go back over to the desk and see what's up. I believe with Sia.
Yep, you're right. The SPY is currently up 1.5%. Let's take a look at what everything is doing at the moment. Electric technology, you have NVIDIA that's up close to 4% on the day. Apple has continued to slide a little bit further into its losses. It's down 1.18% to be precise. MU and Costco still flat on the day. MU and Cisco still flat on the day. I apologize for that. AVGO is up 0.70%. AMD up 2%, and INTC currently now up a little bit, 0.5%. SNDK up close to 7%, with Dell up 6.3%. However, you have names like TXN and ADI that are sliding into the downside, almost as WDC as well as STX. STX down 3.4%. WDC is sliding further 2.9% into the downside. Tech services has been almost a bull for the day for me. Google, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, Netflix, Palantir, PAW, all in the green. Google's up 5.4%, Microsoft's up 5.3%, and Meta pulled back a little bit and is up over 7% on the day, but it is still up 6.5%. You have PAW that's up 4%, and Oracle today is soaring. It's up 8%. CRWD up 6%. Retail trade, you have Amazon that is up 4.5%. Walmart, Costco. Walmart was a little bit up. Costco still flat on the day. Home Depot is up 2%. And TJX down 0.5% here. Finance, you still have a bit of flattishness across a lot of names in this sector. However, BLK is up 3% on the day. And you have names like BX that's also up close to 5% on the day. KKR up 5.3%. AXP has increased its gains. It's up 2.5% right now. And WFC up close to 1%. Let's move to precision manufacturing. You have MAT up over 1.5%, with CAT up close to 2%. LRCX flat. GEV is up close to 2%, and ETN up, inching closer to 5%. Health tech, you have Lilly, J&J, ABBV, and MRK still continuing to slide further into the red here. One name that I want to check in health tech is ISRG, that's up 5.5% here, and SYK up 4.4%, with one of the leaders in the sector BAX, that's up close to 8% on the day. Consumer durables, you have Tesla up 4%. However, in energy minerals right next to it, everything seems to be lagging down. CVX, XOM sliding a little bit. We saw that after US President Donald Trump also made a comment regarding the two companies as well. Oil companies saying they're making a lot of money. Consumer non-durables, let's move on. We have KO and PM also sliding a bit further down now. PEP, PG still flat on the day. Utilities and process industries, health services also just like before, a bit of a mixed bag of stocks over here. Not a lot going on. However, VST in utilities up 5% on the day. And finally, communications, everything in the green. You have Echo that's up close to 0.80%, TMAS up 2.5%, VZ up 1.5%, as well as T that's up 1.3%.
So thank you, Sia. And
Yeah, good rundown. Good rundown.
I didn't look at Lilly, thanks, Sia, because Eli Lilly is losing the 50 period in a pretty decent way. I actually think I might trim some of this, take off 10%. Like it's been a good jaunt, but if you like major moving averages, like this sucker's been on such a big rally. I'm just trying to wonder, why is Lilly weak outside of rotation? You got to figure it's just a rotation thing. Let's see. We know the AstraZeneca news this morning. AstraZeneca and Bristol Myers may or may not be trying to combine in a merger. That would be a gigantic one that would probably take forever, even if it does happen. What's AbbVie doing? AbbVie's probably not having.
They were all down.
Yeah, they're all down. Like that's coming back into the 50 period, but that's like a pull back into the breakout level. And that's a new position. Like Lilly, I think it's more of a take profit kind of deal. Yeah, I might just do that. A little weaker than you would have thought. And then if it gives you a chance, any chance to get back under 1,000 again, all of a sudden it's a place to go buy. Trick or sim, RSIM, yeah, it's cold in here. I'm just saying. It is. That's why Sean's got the hoodie on, and you will see me like doing this.
Well, that's not why I have the hoodie on, but why I put it on? Yeah, initially.
No, you put the hood on.
I'll put the hood on like that way. Yeah.
And it does get a little colder faster when you don't have any hair on your head. It's true.
Of course, the three guys are all sitting here.
No, but Joe laughs about it. Like I'll wear a toque in like non-toque weather.
We might get stopped out of this Palantir quicker.
So I'm trying to reload this SMCI, but it's basically, this is just scalping off in the top end of the range, like back and forth, like being able to get like 80s and then some of the 70s, but it's just slowly making some higher lows, and it's not really going crazy. There's got to be a small capper running or something moving a little bit bigger. The halt scanner's not really helping us with anything because it's just that HYFM stock still. Hydro. I almost said Hydro Fam.
What's up, fam?
It's a Hydro Farm Holdings. That's trying to go on volume. Like it's got a little bit of a breakout over some resistance at 235 here, but then as soon as I bring it up, it's like a jinx. It's failing the breakout the second I call up the stock.
We're going to get stopped out of Palantir here. Okay, now it starts to back up. Market's moving around a little bit right now. I don't know if there's something going on. I do have everything in my ear right now. I just decided to try. Okay, it's going to get stopped out. I just bought some 80s right there. Went back up into the 90s there. We could have taken a 10-cent hit. But yeah, here it comes. Going to break. Our stop is 69. So there it is, man. We got to hit the fail on that last one. Again, we didn't. At the end of the day, we wound up having, I told you, we had about half of a unit or less right there. So yeah, that just didn't work. I thought running that top, we could have got going there, but the market seems like it wants to fall back in, but not even really. Maybe we can look at this again at VWAP, but yeah, a definite fail there. That's going to be our red trade there for the day on Palantir. Well, that's the only trade that we had there. Just thought maybe we could run into the closers. Just, I don't want to sound, like there's not much going on, but really, I'm looking for some more names. We do have, like as Neil mentioned, the hot list sort of right here. So Amazon is at the top of this list right now. We can have a quick little look to see what that's doing. Maybe just to stay stronger. Yeah, but see, even this, I was just going to say, what about if I, looked at a strong name that might wind up holding? Well, that didn't hold either. So that flushed through VWAP. So that's not necessarily a strong name that wound up holding there. The other name we got on there, I just saw Tesla was a little bit of a mover as well on our board now. SBR, you can look at that, see what even SBR is. Sabine royalty. That's not going to be anything there. NVIDIA 208. Wow, NVIDIA up 4%. Tesla's nice, man. I didn't realize Tesla was all the way back upside. So that's up 4%. And look at that trade right there. You take a look at that from all the way from 1 p.m. or so. Gives you that 320 look. And that ripped a 324 days high. And like, this is such a better trade. Why wasn't I over here instead of on Palantir? Just came right into these highs again, and we triple topped it. So that would have been, looks like a good looker for the downside there for Tesla. Possible look at this if it comes back into 322. Your 200 period moving average. Would love a look at 320 again. I think that's a little bit too long in the tooth there. And then the big dog, of course, we just talked about NVIDIA. Oh man, up 4% again today, and near and at the day's high. And that we just had, so they all did the same thing. So it didn't really matter which one I picked. I would have lost on this. That was the same kind of a take. If I go, let's go long on NVIDIA because of reasons, strong, bouncing off the 200. So we would have gone long right here. We'd probably be long at 208.75. It just ticked down 40, 50 cents. So that's probably a stop again. But this one could get bought back up, holding the 25 period moving average. So maybe we look here now for NVIDIA. But again, the problem also is, Iran's talking about not opening up a corridor now in the Strait of Hormuz, so that's not going to go over well.
USO back.
I was going to say, maybe we have to go to USO now, but NASDAQ may be trying to bounce a little bit off the 50 period there, so maybe NVIDIA does have some love here around 208. Those are just some ideas. You guys are looking at Sunrun, Velo, and just a shout out to everybody on TikTok and everybody that's out there, period, right now, right? I mean, we're looking through the chat, so getting some names, like there's VELO, there's Run, there's, I guess, Core Weave, you mean, unless that's one of those.
No, it must be like one of the leverage.
Yeah, levered one there, so with Core Weave coming through there. And there's AMC, is that going again? Palantir moving again, don't tell me it's right back upside. No, it's not really doing anything, okay. IonQ had a huge move. Jared, what was the story with IonQ today? Did they get another contract or something because the quantum? Yeah, because they're up more than the other quantum names, I believe, right? QBTS.
It was an acquisition that got cleared.
Yeah, I keep pressing the wrong button here. Sorry, guys. They completed, this is actually a Friday morning, the acquisition of Skywater Technology. So this is not brand new. That acquisition, I was seeing it this morning as well, but apparently was officially completed as of Friday morning. They also report earnings. They're one of 3 quantum names that reports earnings this week. So they are after the bell on Wednesday. QBTS before the bell on Thursday. Rigetti after the bell on Thursday. Expect a 3-for-1 earnings preview on Exit to TV Research ahead of that IonQ report. But yeah, you get a triple whammy here. Yeah. Again, also the most recent comments while I'm here, coming from Iran. As Sean mentioned, Iran's General Reza saying, quote, "We will absolutely not allow the opening of a second quarter in the Strait of Hormuz." We've heard comments to that effect from him earlier this afternoon as well.
Before you go, Adara.
Hi.
Doesn't your girl report this week?
My girl Lily?
Yeah.
She reports.
Okay, which day?
On Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning.
Also reporting on Wednesday morning is her nemesis, Novo Nordisk. And
Can't we all just be friends?
My thoughts on Eli Lilly. You guys know I just call her, Mademoiselle. It's all a joke. I understand that Eli Lilly was a man and in general, so thank him for his service. And in terms of Eli Lilly, what I'll actually be looking for, I like this as a trading opportunity, a trading vehicle. It can give you really good moves in earnings day one. Lately, I found it hasn't necessarily done that. And I find, honestly, all of the spready tickers I usually rely on for earnings day one moves have kind of been duds so far this year. So far this season, rather.
Interesting.
So we'll have to wait. ASML didn't give that much. Spotify, we'll have to find out tomorrow morning. But yeah, Eli Lilly, my girl, is reporting, and I'm very excited to know. And AppLovin also reporting SanDisk. It's going to be spready ticker Christmas this week.
There you go. I'm going to throw some shade on the whole Novo is their nemesis. But you can't be a nemesis if one stock looks like Eli Lilly's chart and the other one looks like Novo's. And we're not talking about the same thing. We're not. That's like when Dylan Brooks goes at LeBron James. It's just, it's cute, and it might be somewhat entertaining, but, And shout out to Dylan Brooks. He's Canadian, so I don't want to completely hate on the guy. But
Mississauga.
That's the more apt relationship that you should put there. Like, one is, you come at the king, you bet not miss. Ooh, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't even
my talents to South Beach.
Look at that Wednesday.
I know. That's what I was going to try to show everybody. Like this.
Wednesday is not playing.
Right. I'm in IoT, the symbol, not Riot. But there's Eli Lilly, Uber, Disney. Circle's been getting hit recently. What a good pre-market. Bunch of names to trade in the pre-market, right? Even we're coming back tomorrow. Like, look what's coming tomorrow. Caterpillar. Like, there's going to be some big pre-market names to talk about. That's Spotify, and of course, it's an ADR or whatever listed. I believe they're a Dutch company. They're British Petroleum. They're McDonald's. So this is all coming tomorrow morning. And Wayfair they most likely got what you need. So you can check out Wayfair.
I know they do.
Tomorrow night, ooh, we missed this one. Dun, 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 Andy, do we have a time for SpaceX yet?
So I was seeing their call is 4:30 to 5. That's on their website. They're saying that. But then if you go into earnings whispers, it says it's going to be at 7. So I'm just saying it'll be sometime after the bell. I suspect closer to 4. That's what I'm guessing. I have an earnings preview on SpaceX ready. And I also want to say, I'll talk about this more tomorrow, but if I may, Sean and Neil, if I may opine here quickly on SpaceX, it's really weird because shareholders can submit their own questions. I don't think that's weird. I actually think that's kind of cool. What is weird, though, is the questions they're submitting. They mostly have to do with this mascot called Asteroid, which is a little bear. And it's mostly people being like, what are you going to do with the new bear mascot? And it's really weird that that's what SpaceX investors care about. They also want to know if they can paint the rocket pink. And yeah, I don't know, SpaceX investors, I'm really curious as to your priorities. You might think, well, that's just 1 or 2 people. You can actually upvote or downvote on these proposals, and everything involving the asteroid bear is getting tons of upvotes. So Elon Musk is probably going to have a lot of things to say about these questions. I'm sure maybe not all of them positive.
Well, I'm thinking what I want to hear about is how realistic is this merger talk? Like, because everyone seems to want to be going full bore. Like the Tesla call, he had to address it. It had to be addressed on the Tesla call, and you have to imagine there's going to be even more questions about that. Like that would be absolutely gigantic. And let's go right back up to it there.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. This just came out here. Be aware, volume on this is not anything crazy. It's only about 1.3 million shares traded on the day, but keep an eye on Yum Brands. We know this whole story with Taco Bell is evolving, but latest update here in this whole Taco Bell parasite scandal is I'm seeing reports that Taco Bell met with Michigan about the parasite weeks before the recall happened. Now, this is not a great look here for Yum Brands, but it's maybe a better look for the likes of SG and CAVA, who are probably feeling like they're left out off the hook now for this parasite issue. Again, sounds like Taco Bell reportedly knew about the parasite before there was this recall issue. In case you guys remember, there was a parasite. There was a lot of on and off with the FDA and Health and Human Services over who was responsible for the parasite, but looks like Taco Bell was already aware before that even came out, if these reports are to be believed. Back to you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, we just mentioned there is D-Wave right here, Rigetti. So both those days are going to come on Thursday, and then we get the other one right here, IonQ. Where did I see it? Oh, right there on Wednesday. So yeah, you're right in the chat there. Yeah, that is Beyond Meat reporting there on Wednesday.
Will it break $1 after earnings?
Very, very interesting. You guys can all go find that at Trader TV Live, of course, on X to find out more about those trades. Yeah, Palantir has come back. So and it bounced off the 200. That's so silly. So we're just going to wait for that 200 to come through and then view up one more time. So if Palantir does, dip, dive, duck, dodge?
Dip, dodge,
Dip,
dodge, duck,
That
dive,
movie
and dodge.
is
Because you have to say dodge twice.
Yeah, that movie's always on. Like I cannot believe how much dodgeball, like how much does Vince Vaughn make every time that movie or Ben Stiller or whatever is played on air? Like I think that's ridiculous. So many times.
The Lance Armstrong part just hits differently
what a
after
movie
the fact.
Anyways, Palantir all the way back up now. Okay, you bought NVIDIA around. That's right.
37
You're always
RSI.
telling us about that. There, how did it bounce off that? When we got to 190, hit my 208. Okay, so this is like we can keep on looking at
here's
that. Was
190.
a daily chart on?
Well, it was also 190 was support on the daily. It was right here. There's your support. There's your 200 period moving average, the bouncing, but also apparently 37. Oh, just as I was about to read it.
No, it's 37% up. He said it's 10% bounce.
Around that 37. 10% bounce is real. It goes back for years. Cha-ching. So when it hits the 37 RSI, the 10% bounce is very much legit. And what's wild is just the 190 bounce has been giving that same, well, it's done it twice now, so it's actually been giving you that same look. The wild thing about NVIDIA is just how it has spent more time consolidating in the last year than anything. Like, look at it. Like, you have like a small failed breakout there, but most of the time, it's consolidating within a 10 to 15% range and just gearing up. So, like, obviously, you don't think it lasts forever, especially when you get it at such a value relative to the relative to the overall market. The fact that you can get this at such a depressed multiple compared to the S&P 500 is wild.
I was just thinking about something, Joe. With Ramin getting out of here in early October, Joe, take her parking spot. You'll be right beside me, my guy. You don't have to worry about the visitor parking anymore there, Joe. Yeah, I mean, you could be neighbors now. So there you go. Okay, I just thought about that. So there you go. Joe, happy.
You're getting an added benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Ramin's taking up that spot right now. So I got Michael on one side over there and Ramin on the other. So, okay, Palantir made its way all the way back to 126. So, you know, to lose a little bit of money there kind of sucks because there's the bounce back. But, you know, we should have, I just didn't want to be too conservative, right? Like I didn't want to lose on it. So I was like, oh, we'll just stop out for a quarter, 25 cents. So that's what we wind up doing. And then boom, it just kind of takes back off a little bit there. Oh, here we go. Now trying to extend out. I don't want to take the trade again because it's going to look so silly if the exact same thing happens again. But we'll wait to see if it comes back down into this level. But so far, so yeah, I see Luis Suarez there. Yeah, I know. And now it looks like it's setting up. But what's the difference? Like last time, I like to trade the same way. Bounced off here, bounced off here, bounced off here. And I thought, okay, whenever you bounce off levels of support, you're going to take out new highs. But that just never happened there for Palantir. It actually went to the same level and fell back in again. So I wouldn't be surprised. If that happens again, man, we want to be sitting here ready to take advantage of that. So that's what we're doing right now, sitting here and waiting for that opportunity on Palantir to come through. It's already 3:20, so we're getting not super late in the tooth, but we're getting on right now as we wait for Palantir earnings coming at 4:05. So that could be something to talk about. Again, the SPY, what are we doing there? ES kind of still flattish. I mean, taking out the top of the day on the ES might be something. That could be a decent trade as well. Not even really getting to the 50 period there on the ES. You can look at SPY to take that out. And we are, you know, points away from all-time highs anyways in the SPY. So getting a little closer up in that area. But okay, what's up, Adara?
Oracle to the upside here. I have to give Oracle its prop strong session. This is currently at session highs as Citrini, which of course the research group behind that whole thesis that indirectly led to a big drop in some of these SaaS plays earlier this year. Anyways, they're initiating long on Oracle, so ORCL to the upside here. Back to you.
Thank you, Darren. Good look there on Oracle, making power moves. Others in the chat pointing that out as well. With it being 320, it is a bit early for the early look, but there's already BMY, which you might have known is in play today because AstraZeneca and Bristol Myers, it's rumored that they could partner up or merge. That would be the idea. But Bristol Myers, with this sell imbalance, this is sold off most of the day. So, you know, the rumor, and then, of course, nothing was firm, so it just gave everything back, obviously. That, you know, what that should have been, that's a fail. When you really think about it, how often do we see that? If it's up on deal speculation and the deal would be so gigantic it would take forever to close and there was nothing confirmed on the deal, it was just talk, they just sold it off when there were more appealing things and the market started trending higher. But it is trying to bounce. So if it ends up a sell imbalance, this is spicy because it's trending up into what could be a sell imbalance, and that gives you a bit of a reversal play on BMY. The only thing of interest for me, and of course the second I go back, and it might have already paired off. So unless I see that show up again, that 1.7 million shares, I might have to get away from that. We're going back up to the desk with Sia.
Oh.
Not?
Who did that? Oh, that was crazy. Joe did that. I just know it. It was a joke, Joe. I didn't do anything. Let's dive into the money market, shall we? Let's take a look. The U.S. Treasury has, just as of today, said that it expects to borrow $739 billion in the third quarter, $68 billion more than it had projected in May, as lower projected cash flows that were only partly offset by higher than assumed starting cash balance. So you have for the fourth quarter, the Treasury has now projected borrowing of $628 billion based on year-end cash balance of $850 billion. I'm just going to check the USD DXY level for you right now. It's currently at 99.914. Not a bad look, I would say it's up 0.11% on the day. It was a little bit lower earlier in the day when I remember I had checked, not significantly, just on the same level, but just very, very little amount. Currently trading around 99.9 region, very close to 100, you could say, up 0.11% on the day.
Thank you there, Sia. I'm just going to... Hold up. Wait a minute.
I am telling you, it's Joe.
I was looking at you.
Here's the thing, I turned and looked when it got hit for Sia, and then Joe did. And Joe was like looking all guilty. So I know, come on now,
This
Joe.
is Gaslighter final boss.
Joe's just hitting a fail up on people like, oh, it's going to be like that?
Joe, okay, so the one thing
that's
is
how it's gonna
Joe's
be?
my boy. He knows that.
That's
but
how it's going to be?
He was throwing people in the butt. That one last week when it was Jersey Mike, and everyone was like, "Oh, who hit the fail? Who hit the fail?" My man over here was like, "Wasn't me, wasn't me." But then when it went, Joe, don't even start. And then he did take credit for it. You did come on.
Oh yeah. Okay,
It is him.
that time I did. The first time it wasn't me. I don't know.
Oh, okay,
That was
okay.
the second time it was me.
Okay, I'll admit that was me the first time. Okay.
You hit the fail on yourself?
There's so many shady things happening.
No, I don't mean the first time right now. I mean,
Oh, you-
JMKE, I did it once. That's what I'll admit.
Okay.
Well, I thought just now, because it's like when we just went, you were up for a second there. Yeah, I'm thinking, who hits a fail on themselves? Shoot.
I have no idea.
Anyways, we got a super chat here from Michael Beckford. Gaslighter's final boss is Joe.
That's right.
Truth.
That's right. That's right.
Truth
That's right.
right there. No word of a lie. But you don't want to mess around with Joe too much because if you snitch off, if you start calling him snitch, or he'll banhammer, he'll give you that banhammer right quick. Like, he's quick with the banhammer. Stop messing around with that nonsense. Like we said, about 15 minutes. I should check that. 25 minutes till the imbalances come in here. I was hoping that Bristol Myers would be back, but it's not. So that might have been a bit of a nothing burger. Chipotle, 900K. They had earnings last week. There's one I actually didn't even look at.
Yeah, Chipotle was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was. Let's see how it's doing. Oh, come on. It's Monday. Don't give me Friday charts on a Monday. I don't want that. I don't want to see that. It didn't really do anything with those gains. Good earnings post earnings, but it's done nothing with it. Maybe consolidation for a flat bottom break after earnings instead of a breakout. That sucks because Chipotle at the end of last week looked really good for a potential breakout trade. It looks like it's doing the opposite of that. So it's pretty quiet here. I mean, SMCI looks like it'll be nothing more than
HYFM
like
halted back
scalp.
and forth.
Yeah, this is actually going right back into the high. Maybe one more shot to scalp it. HYMC, right? No, HYFM.
Yeah, HYFM.
That was the one that was looking like a break.
But it just now halted again and opened back up. So like it was just going crazy during our first show there in the morning.
Needs to
It was
break
halting
deal.
all over the place. Got down to $1.40 again. And now there's another halt. So we can see if there's some actionable trades going to kick off here as we enter into.
You know what the program is?
Oh, by the way,
First
Palantir
halt.
did the same thing again.
No, it's almost as if on these
go
crazy
long on the
gappers,
first one, right?
go long on the first halt, go short on the first halt. Like this stock, it's clearly a gapper that's moving. If you take the first halt, it's binary, right? Like you just say if it ends up, you just put a stop, and if it opens past 320, you're out, and it's halting to the downside right now. So it's about to go into a halt down to 224 here. I can't do anything about it because we don't have locates on it. I wouldn't have paid for them at this point. But you just take the first halt. Your risk is that 25 cents, and if it opens down, a lot of times it's just going to trend for you. There was that stock that was halted for a couple of months or whatever. I forget the name of the symbol. It opened back
Oh, yeah,
up.
the IN, not INHD, was it? Was it something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
INHD, yeah.
Joe, what was the name of the ticker that was halted for a month?
And it came back.
Is it INHD? Yeah, so this one, you weren't.
I wasn't even
They
here.
knew it was opening. I didn't know it was opening on Friday until after the fact when they were talking about it. Some people knew on Thursday, and then there was an indicator, it's going to open at some point on
Palantir.
Friday. This would have been the easiest short of all time if you just paid for low case. It's halted for like a month. Opens up, halts down. Gaps down, opens up, halts down. The gaps down. It did it 4 times in a row. All you had to do was knew it was going to come back and pay for the low
But then
case.
it went right back. Oh, yeah, okay, I see.
But look at how many there were.
Yeah, I
You just
know.
had to.
But then it eventually made its way back up.
It made a capitulation
Right,
bottom
trying
and
to
started
cover that.
squeezing.
What time was that at? 11 o'clock?
Just sort of randomly. It was 12 o'clock.
Okay.
I wasn't at I came back to see that these guys were like, oh shoot, that stock finally opened.
Now look what it's doing now.
Well,
What is
you're not halting for like a month and a half for no reason, right? Like it's not usually a good thing.
some decent size over here?
Um,
And I always
Oh, what a joke.
there's that stupid Michael Scott joke there from The Office. We're not going to worry about that for now.
Just say it.
All the way back up to VWAP. and with something they're hanging out. Now it's 57 million shares. That's only 200,000 shares, right? So it's not huge. So every single one of these is 100 shares. So it's like right now on the Boston Exchange, there's going to be 100 shares there on EDJ, like on MIAX there, on BATS 3,700, so on and so forth. There's 40,000, back and forth. So that's a decent order just sitting there on a lit book. And what a lit book means is these are all lit, so you can see them all, right? Very, very unique verbiage there. These are lit, and then there's dark, So whatever you see right here is all the lit market, and what's underneath behind, or just on gateways, like here at Real Trading, we have access. You can scan that QR code right now. We have access to over like 30 dark pools. Like we have Citadel's dark pool, IEX, like a whole bunch of different, JP Morgan, Citigroup, like there's a bunch of dark pools that we have access to. So we have access to them, obviously, so does the market. So that's why there's a lot of trading that happens in between, or these D prints you'll often see. Like there's a whole rule, like there's 11,000 D prints right there. So that's 11,000 shares just got traded without, touching the level 2. There's all either in between or, dark pools that are sitting there that your orders are being routed to, right? And if you watch, I was gonna say Fast Money, that's the CNBC show. Dumb Money, you'll learn a little bit more about going back and forth, or just look up something Kitty, Roaring Kitty. You'll be able to, I still can't believe that was some of the best, most entertaining, and I lost money. That
was the dumbest day ever.
When he came back and he was like all like this, and he had like a bandage on his head, and then all of a sudden he woke back up, and like he was looking at his account, millions of dollars in it and everything.
That was the first day I ever called off work because I like booked it off in advance, June 7th, 2024. It still breaks my heart that I missed that day because it was amazing. And then I was also off the Monday, the 10th, which was the WWDC. Worst first 2 days of vacation ever to take the job, I gotta say. Still mad.
In hindsight,
I mean, I lost money on it. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna run the stock.
Well, everybody was like, okay, let's just position long because if he holds it up, it'll be amazing. And then it did the literal opposite. Like he didn't do anything. The stock just rugged because he was late. So the stream was supposed to start at a specific time, and so everyone's going long into that. And then when it didn't start on time, everyone just started getting rugged. And then he was like sitting there laughing. Like it's great entertainment, but you're sitting there like, you've got to be kidding me. The second he didn't start on time, you could have just punched short when it didn't start on time.
It was just so stupid.
It was so silly.
We were all waiting. He had this like music in the background. I remember I was like all getting all hyped up. I was like, this is the best day ever.
Fabian dressed up as him for Halloween.
Yeah, Fabian looks exactly like.
So On the Rail is asking, well, thanks for the super chat, On the Rail.
Oh.
Appreciate you. Thoughts on Apple long for a swing?
I'm already going to say yes.
99 stop. What's wrong with that? Apple.
The only reason I'm saying yes to it is because you have a stop. So I don't if you want to go long on something or short on something with a stop, that's 5% away or less than that. I mean, way less than that actually. I think that's great. So I don't know. You have the chart up there.
Yeah, you're basically you're just looking at it is 300. You're just basically saying, okay, after earnings, it bottomed out at $300. So you want to be long. If it breaks the earning day one low, then that's an out. I've seen many a person like that exact type of trade, right? And then your target can just be, well, maybe like the all-time high. But as long as you like it for a reason and you have yourself, this is where I am wrong. That's all a trade is. Let's go up to Sia at the desk.
Let's take a look at the crypto markets. That's a very catchy music, by the way. So let's take a look at what's going on now. Bitmain, BMNR here. Bitmain Immersion, which is the largest Ethereum treasury company, has bought another 10,399 Ethereum during the last week. As chairman of the company, Tom Lee, has pointed to Ethereum's strongest monthly performance against the NASDAQ in a year as evidence that crypto is recovering. So the purchase is worth roughly, I'm just going to check Ethereum here as well. The purchase worth roughly $19.1 million at Ethereum's current price of $1,840. That was when it was bought, dollars, has lifted Bitmain's holding to almost 5.8 million Ethereum, or about 4.8% of ETH's circulating supply. This is coming from the company's update as of today. So BMNR is, trading flat on the day. BTC currently up 0.75%, trading around the $63,900 region. You have Ethereum that's also trading flat on the day, trading around $1,872 as of now. And Solana, that is up very close to 0.80% on the day, trading around the $74 region.
All right, thanks, Sia there. I'm just going to say Sia to this trade if it doesn't work out. And I'm being very, very like cautiously optimistic that something winds up working out here. All right, 125. What is that? I'm going to try to hold the view up. Again, like we're not using that many shares, and I don't want to be necessarily, and I'll explain this trade in a minute, 125. I just want to put this order in. Let's just go to 44. We'll give it like 10 cents underneath VWAP. So I was going to say, like, you know, since we've been in and out, okay, well, now it's bouncing. So what am I long at? All right, so we'll have to try to get out of something here if it goes back up. So I wanted to buy the 25 period there it goes. So, and then I wanted to buy the 50 period, and then I wanted to buy, because on the way back down, we basically went into all of these levels. And of course you got to break one to get to the other one. I just wasn't sure, and I didn't want to put on a big amount of shares or anything there. So we'll basically put on, we have about like a third of a unit everywhere. So now we're getting ready to go, and now we're finally back into the money. So we might as well take a piece out if we can get those 95s again, who knows. But heading into this earnings report, like we don't necessarily want to be in this. We do have the imbalances coming soon in 15 minutes now. So up and down here on Palantir. But, you know, we held VWAP and the 200. Forget about VWAP. We held the 200 basically both times right there. So that last out, if I knew that was going to come through, then we'd only be long at 70s. But of course, we don't. So we average into it. We just take less shares. So right now, we'll see. I mean, Palantir needs to get back up to here to make everything back. And I don't know if that's going to happen. So, we should just got out right there. See, it just went back up to 98s there, and I was talking and didn't have an offer out. So hopefully we can get back upside, take a little bit out. But no, if we break below, then let's just get out as the imbalances are looming. And we don't have no idea which way these are going to look. Oops, one more time. Coming in from the NASDAQ. So here we go. We do not know which way. So very, very topsy-turvy here on Palantir. We'll just wait and see what's going on there again.
Cheese in the chair. I love where your heart's at with this cheese in the chair. How about a poll of which stock is the best long-term investment on the day Ram's baby is born, and all that day super chat money goes to her? Well, you know, what was the first thing? We were literally talking about the whole, when your baby is born.
I know the answer to that question.
Immediately set up. Oh, this is, I'm talking in a general sense. Always immediately set up the educational savings account. I don't know what the rules are in every state of the U.S., but like here, like you set it up right away, like the money goes in tax-free. It's like anything else, and it's a fantastic, and you can match the amount of contribution. It's the smartest thing you can do.
That's why Trump was doing those Trump accounts.
The Trump accounts, I think it's a similar thing. I don't know for sure if they have the same thing everywhere in the U.S., but I know here they do, and that's something, you know, obviously we're going to encourage as well. But of course, we'll do something. Well, definitely something's going to happen. Pure ecstasy. Every time I see this, I'm like reminded of who it is. I guess Trump was right on Axon. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're being real about it,
it's up 10%.
They've been right on a lot. Well, the administration is what I want to say. They've been right on a lot of individual names, and that's exactly why people are going to fork over the $100,000. Although I still maintain a lot of people that will pay the $100,000 will get beaten out by bigger fish that pay the $100,000 and would be able to better leverage the quick access to the truth, because some people will just have much powerful and more co-located machines. Axon looking fantastic. I think the reality is it's not about trying to be political or not be political. It's just understanding that it's worked so many times. It has worked. Being in where the administration likes something, whether it's Intel, whether it's Dell. The only one that I can think of that didn't work out, I think, was Lithium Americas, right? I want to say LAC, and it did for like. I think
they're in MP Materials though, aren't they? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's. Well, but even then, I think MP might have been more like flat. I don't know if it was bad. Mm-hmm. I think Lithium Americas is the only one that would have been a loser outright. I think.
Loser.
And you guys let me know. Has there been a single company the administration has touted or put an investment in that has turned into a loser? And again, it's just about trading and it's just about taking advantage. I think Lithium Americas is the only one. Really. I can't think of any other ones.
No, this is why I was telling you guys earlier today, like this is basically insider trading. So we'll see if they do wind up getting it. But this Axon, you could have given it a couple days. It's only moving now, so it's not like you had early access to something too crazy there. Palantir, man, is just failing again. It came back upside, so we did take a little piece out, but our stop is still going to be here at 44. So it looks like all this trying to see if there's going to be a run up into the earnings report. Here it goes. We're two cents away now from getting stopped out. So, we could talk about this. Like, I'm going to go 2 for 3 today, but I only have 3 names, right? Everybody else can trade their own amount of shares, amount of symbols. You got to just find the right opportunities, right? And for me, this was more just like, I'm so much more confident in the other plays that we had. Like, this Intel, we love the 91. I took it twice there, worked once, didn't work the second time. That based out quite nicely for us. The Apple trade, we've already sort of talked about what Apple was doing for us early on. And right now, it's kind of like we're just sitting here trying to see if there's any sort of actionable trade. And, once again, like, it is bouncing off of VWAP here, but, coming into the earnings, this is just as dangerous now. You're basically trading the earnings report right now. By sitting here and waiting for something to happen. So we'll see. We'll be out of this soon. We'll probably be stopped out, but I'm waiting to get a little bit more out here in the 80s if we can. But we're now 10 cents away from getting stopped out. And if we do, long at 72s, out at 44s is where my breaking spot is. So that's going to happen pretty soon. So it looks like another 30 cent or so hit with slippage. So kind of sucks. But, neither time did we have a full unit. So. Kind of what it is for right now. Downside action on PLTR, and we can maybe just leave it alone. It's gonna. My stop is right there. So there it is. So there goes flush down. We just got stopped out of that. Now it's gonna bounce, and I'm gonna think like, I need to get back in. Still a good day. We're still up on the day, and it's been a tough day, right? We've talked about that around here. It's been not too many things to trade as far as small caps go, and we just wait for more opportunities. But there's a drop down in XOM, but yeah, we're still green. We have that poll out there, and I don't want to. What was it, Palantir? What do those stats look like? I don't want to change the poll to are you green or red, but we do have the poll up there. Either Neil has it or it's up on the board in the back there to see what people are thinking for Palantir today. There it is. So it looks like, the down 12% or greater than 12%.
It is.
Looks like that's what it is.
It is basically, but that's
greater
27 to 22, 26, 27, 25. Like, that's a rounding error. That's basically saying that there's no consensus whatsoever. Like, it's when we do a 50-50 poll, we call it, it's like 50-50, it'll be like 57-43. That is an absolute nothing burger. So nobody has any, that means we don't know where it's gonna go with Palantir when it's that, like, there's no consensus. At least sometimes when there's nobody voting for a certain option, you can say, okay, well, no one thinks this is gonna happen, that makes it a little bit more likely. Or there's an overwhelming favorite on Alphabet's day that people happen to like Alphabet. With the case of Palantir, I think people are just like, what is even going on with this stock? And one of the things that's confusing about it is the fact that it's not strong in the midst of this rally in software. Like, what's the deal? It's supposed to fall with the rest of the software names, but it doesn't get the rally when they're going as well. Like, it doesn't get that benefit of the doubt. Like, what gives? To me, what gives? Is it just valuation? It's a defense name when defense names, I guess, have been relatively weak despite the fact that the war is going on. I guess it's just a valuation story. But the thing that gets me about this stock, you can only have so many quarters where the stock price trends down like this and revenue growth trends up. I don't care what kind of a company you are. Like, if revenue just continues going up to the right in a linear way, and that's just how it is, stock price doesn't usually continue to go down. Like, eventually you will curl if you see that kind of a pattern. And this has been doing it for quite some time. So we'll see. Bristol Myers is back here on the imbalance locator, 1.8 million to the sell side. The only reason this is interesting to me is because of this deal. Well, I don't think there's going to be a deal, but it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. AstraZeneca and Bristol Myers are going to do whatever they want to do. It's massive if it does happen, but they've been selling it all day long. So there's more selling going into the imbalance. There's now a top here at 65, 63. So the closer it gets to 350, just fading off of this high. And then saying, okay, it comes out as a sell imbalance, short it, that's the stop. If it doesn't come out as a sell imbalance, well, it's probably going to pop through that high anyways. So that's one play I'm going to be looking for here. Monster, it'd be 400 billion if they combine, the combined company.
Yeah, so crazy, right?
Like, that's huge.
I want to bring everyone's attention to the fact that we have over right now 5,000 of you watching, but the poll only has like 150 votes or something like that. So guys, get into there. First of all, hit the like and hit the subscribe, right? There's 5,000 right now watching. I think we do a pretty good job of covering things, taking your questions there. in the poll. But get involved now. You got to get part of the chat, no matter if you're watching on TikTok, on YouTube, wherever you're watching. Get part of it right now and get involved in the poll, man, so we can show you, what the true, numbers look like. I mean, there's a lot of you sort of lurking there, as Fabian has mentioned to me. We got to grab those lurkers and get them to start hitting the likes and the subscribe and starting to vote on some of that. And sometimes we even have the YouTube polls up, but we try to include as much of our reach as we can with our audience there. So no matter where you guys are looking, make sure you guys do hit that and have a quick little peep at our polls. Okay, so like I said, this would happen. So we'll just smack a fail right there. I said we'll get stopped out and then Palantir will go right back. We were long at 75, so all the way back to where we were long. But, once it breaks levels, you got to get out. So we'll look back in small hits, but at the same time, 3 or 4 of them, they do add up. But, we didn't give up too much. We just have to wait to see what Palantir is going to do here into the close. With only 5 minutes left. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. Palantir. Oh, man, well, we were right about the long, but just wrong about the timing, I guess. And I don't think we've even been right about the long. I mean, it's still in the middle. So it's a nice move higher. To me, this almost looks like a short, but we don't want to do that as we do head into, again, the close. Oh, one name we didn't look at today, SK Hynix. Quick little look there. All right, so not a bad day. Nice little recovery for them. Still, I mean, it's not a great day considering the fact that the NASDAQ and the ES are both upside. But SK Hynix, we've seen many worse days on this name. Nice little bottom there at 120 as we found out, the hedge fund was selling a bunch of these names, had to get liquidated. And obviously SK Hynix fell to the downside as well with your AMDs, your Intels, your Marvells, all those kind of names definitely got hit on all of that. And then our good friend SpaceX with reporting tomorrow at this time, we think. We're not sure exactly when. Adair's seen multiple times for their conference call and everything. So we'll have to wait to see if it does come at 4. I think it'll be much later than 4, but who knows? Being all dramatic, right? Everybody wants to wait for it. So wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen for a minute. All right, so SpaceX right there, 2.5%. We're going to have a look at SpaceX. And it bounced. We just chose the wrong one, right? We chose Palantir, and it did not hold VWAP. We could have easily done a SpaceX trade there at 109. And there it goes up to 111. So that's a nice move off of VWAP there for SPCX. What's up, Coron?
Coroni?
Coron-il. I think that's an I, and it's 1999.
Coroni?
So Coroni, 1999. Maybe want you to know the current information doesn't speak for all of us in the U.S. I love Canada. Well, thank you so much for that. I have very much respect for all of you, especially Trader TV Live. Well, we thank you for that.
Thank you.
I don't want this to sound like a lot of the Canadians don't really care what Donald Trump has to say, to be honest with you. Obviously, for economics and the people that are involved in that, I mean, yeah, we're the largest trading partner of the United States, so there would be some sort of push and pull there. We would love to have a amicable relationship, but time's ticking on this presidency. And, there might not get anything even done, from now to then. And although Canada, obviously, a lot of different sectors, both in the United States and Canada, are struggling right now.
Well, I was having a conversation. I was out with a buddy from Friday who runs a major trucking company here. And obviously the Gordie Howe Bridge was a topic of discussion. It goes without saying. But it's completely, it's changed a lot of industries. Some for the good, some for the bad. It is what it is. But the show is not, for us, it's not about politics, but it's unavoidable because the political climate is going to move the markets in some ways, and you can't really ignore that fact. So it's always going to be something that plays into it, right? Even when we look at the Fed and rates, that's something that's going to matter as well. The wild thing, actually, that just reminded me of something. With only 2 minutes to go to the imbalances, we're up 1.8% today in the NASDAQ, on a day after we were freaking out about the yield curve and the 30-year after the U.S. intervention the U.S. joint intervention in the Japanese yen. They didn't do it by themselves. It was joint between the U.S. and Japan. The U.S. sold some euros to buy yen. They didn't sell U.S. dollars to do so. And then that was supposed to be this big concern for the markets because it's signaling that they're concerned about people selling treasuries, and they wanted to get out in front of that so they could keep the 30-year yield down. All of that you would have thought would come in bearish, and the market has shrugged it off again. Bond concerns, market says, don't care, we're going to highs because earnings are fantastic and growth is there, despite the fact the S&P is not exactly trading all that cheap. 1 minute to go till imbalances. I got eyes on BMY because there's really nothing else. I hear going into the close. Coke is there, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, I was just only calling it up because now we're just moments away. So I'm going to set this up to only look at our, the NASDAQ or New York when it comes through. So we'll lose everything right now, and now we'll just wait to see. We only have those early looks with the AMEX and New York that are present right now. And in approximately 1 minute, Palantir can go directly to hell, by the way. This is a stock that's probably been one of the best stocks in my portfolio of all time. But it's just a matter of there it goes, right there into the imbalances. So, again, if we don't have stops, we always talk about how responsible it is to trade with stops. But if we don't have stops now, we're cooking. But we do. So we already got stopped out on that. But there goes Palantir, right there back to the upside. What's losing its bid right now is Apple. So Apple, again, downside into 304, low of the day 302 in change for Apple. All right, we're now 15 seconds away. I think the most important, we'll watch that Palantir and see what happens right here. So with only now 5 seconds left, we'll see where this imbalance comes from and what winds up happening to all of the stocks. I'll click on them if we see anything major. Okay, so downside imbalance, I guess, right down to 125.89. We'll just go like that and have a quick look at some of the stocks. So there it is, BMY. We're not going to worry about that. There's Apple with a buy. So someone was wrong selling that, but look what happens. Spikes up to 305, right back to 304. That was a $1 move right there in Apple, just because it showed up a buy. Intel a buy, probably something similar. That was already going to the upside, so that will continue. My guy IREN is finally back. That's nice, man. What a shoot stock that's been. IREN, but back up 8% today. We really like that one. So that's doing well. And I just saw my guy over here, NVIDIA, as well. Up 3% today, but down for right now is NVIDIA. So that's what we're doing, or up today, but down on this move. And Roblox was a big sell-off there on Friday, right? Down 28% or something. Getting a little bit of that back right here is RBLX.
Now that's the definition of a dead cat bounce.
Yeah, and I'd like to see a little bit more pushed on that move, but we'll see what happens tomorrow on Roblox.
Roblox and
there it is, buy. Big
and
buy
Reddit.
bounce.
So yeah, overall 1.2. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Apple. Yeah, Apple, I suppose 1.2. And then I saw somebody else. Cisco was like 800,000. But NVIDIA being a sell, I thought could have offset that a little bit, but I guess not. And BMY came out much smaller. You want to come out bigger than the imbalance that everyone sees on the early look, or at least the same. Smaller is really not going to cut it. But good look on Roblox. They were, at the open on Friday, nasty. I mean, everyone had something else that was. As long as you were short something at the open, you were probably good on Friday. And I was looking at DRAM and a couple of other things. I spoke to, I think it was Obi, and he said the bid, trying to hit the bid on Roblox was basically impossible because it was SSR, and then it dropped like $3 in the first couple of minutes, and there was nothing.
Right.
You couldn't hit anything apparently because there wasn't an uptick. So forget about it. Unless you were sitting short, there was just longs that were dumping out of the stock for about 5 minutes or so on Roblox. So the fact that it caught a bid today is a good sign. I think. I still would not be. I'd feel much better. This is going to break trend. I'd feel much better about Reddit buying the dip on the Reddit earnings than Roblox, because Reddit pulled back into an uptrend. Let's actually show what we're talking about here. Reddit kind of pulled back on what had been an uptrend while having some support off those lows. And when you zoom it out, go way back on the daily, it still looked pretty good. Like I remember we put up a trend line from literally from the all-time low, and then throw up a trend line on Reddit, and look where Reddit bounced. Like right on the all-time since IPO trend line is the bounce that you got on earnings, as opposed to Roblox, which is, well, you've all seen the chart. I don't have to throw it up for you. It's pretty nasty.
We don't have, look, we'll stay until 405. Like Palantir, it's going to be fine. Come out at 405, we have On, and then we have Snapchat. So I believe that was the look on Palantir, right? It was 405? Adara, if you're back there. Okay, so correct on that one. And then tomorrow, big earnings coming from Caterpillar. I just want to have a quick look at CAT. I think also the risk of Roblox, of course, is the lawsuits, right? I mean, it's not, they have pending lawsuits, but it's more the fact of is like, there's that whole social media, like the push away from your screen time.
All these bans,
yeah,
all these countries with the bans and.
Yeah, bans make them dance. But right down to the downside, there's 780 for Caterpillar. Nice little bounce back. I mean, you take for granted like 780 up to 830. Like that's generally a pretty good move, but doesn't look that way when you're looking at Caterpillar right here. I think we'll look forward to seeing what their guide is. We know that they're going to come off of a great quarter. I'm willing to bet they'll beat top and bottom line. It's just a matter of where does the guide look for Caterpillar. And I've recently bought, again, we just had that competition, so whatever day that was, we were in. So I think probably at the 50 period up here, so 930, down about 100 right now on that name. We'll see what winds up happening for Caterpillar. More of a longer term look, I think, for that name, but I'm not in it. So farmers unite on Caterpillar.
NVIDIA's grown into a 4.8 million sell.
NVIDIA was...
It was a 800,000. No, it was 800,000 sell. It was a small sell. The others were buy.
It was a buy.
It was 800,000, but now it's 4.8 million. So NVIDIA, there's a little bit of acceleration to the downside. Although it's 30 seconds till 355. So as much as I just showed you a big sell imbalance, remember at 355 these often pair off. There's a really good chance that big NVIDIA sell is going to go from almost 4 million. Now it's already down from 5 million to 4 million, and likely to get even smaller. But that would be the reason. If you saw a spike to the downside on NVDA, that's the reason why. And I suspect in a couple of seconds you'll see that pair off even more. One of the strongest names here today. 200 to 2. Oh, there it is.
By the way, Amazon's at 285.
Yeah, they just paired off.
Yeah. So you probably had to go long there. I'm in another zone here. I'm not even looking at it. Normally that's a trade that I would take. Amazon with a sell. Whoosh. So there's a big sell move there for Amazon. So I just saw them come out right there. So, off of all-time highs, what a great run Amazon's had over the last 5 days or 3 days. Call it 230 to 260 to 270 to 285 today. So upside for Amazon and new all-time highs. Congratulations to everybody who has Amazon, man. And I put that piece out, it was just when it's down here. This is the last time I bought some Amazon. It was down into here, 205 off this quarter. Right, so they get smoked 2 quarters ago back in February, thought it was wrong, talked about that, then rate upside, didn't get anything out, rode all the way back down, now you're back upside. So sometimes these mega cap names, man, and you can always look, everything today, all the Mag 7s are all up except for Apple. And you can see right there, Mags, what a run they've had. Boom, that was, and again, like we talked about this one, like if you like the names but you're not sure which one, get them all. And you could do that right here with the MAGS ETF, and it's 16% on all 7 of them. So well divided up, probably a decent management fee, but this way you're not picking and choosing, and you just got right there a 10% move in just a couple of days. So obviously not as extended as owning Amazon itself, but that's part of the diversified realm that we're in. And another name that's not a Mag 7 name that's had its dips and hasn't really recovered yet is Netflix. So. You want to talk about a name that might be a decent long-term hold, as many of you like that Roblox for a hold. I think Netflix down at these levels is something else too, down at $70. We'll see what happens to Netflix as we get ready to. There's NFL games next. I thought it was August 13th.
The Hall of Fame game is like in a week or
this
something.
weekend? Yeah, so there's games.
Is it this weekend or next week?
I thought it was the 13th. I thought there
it's
was.
always sooner than we
Let me
remember.
see, what day is the 13th anyways?
I feel like.
Thursday? That could be right. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'm close to being right on that one, but anyways,
I don't even know who's
and I don't think the NFL is like, oh my God, we got to buy Netflix because of the NFL. It's live sports. Every time I'm thinking about Netflix, I'm thinking about the UFC, and WWE just had SummerSlam. I don't know if that went out well or not. I'm not really paying too much attention to wrestling these days, but anyways, that just happened there again, and so Netflix, I don't mind that for a longer term. What's up? Cletus is up $1 billion today. It says much love.
Cletus.
Congratulations, Cletus. That sounds like a hell of a trade you got on.
Cletus is, that's from the...
1 milli.
Sure, what's with Eddie Murphy with...
Is that Goonie Googler?
The Clumps.
Oh.
Because one of the characters is Cletus, because it's
it?
the old woman, and she's always punking Cletus.
I thought you were
Like
talking
Cletus
about...
is the dad. What the heck
Delirious.
is the name of the... No, I'm thinking about the Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor.
Shout out to Jaka as well. Thank you for the super chat there, Jaka.
If you're up more than $1 billion today, put your hand up.
A billion?
I'm only up.
$1 billion?
I'm only up 500 million.
That's why that's why. Well, I'm gonna buy the Dodgers myself, because what I'm gonna break up the entire team and just screw them. I'm just gonna tear them apart from the inside.
I mean, is it the Dodgers' problem that they're the best run organization?
No. I'm joking.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, not even money-wise, they're the best run organization. They have the best current roster. They have one of the best farm systems.
They do fantastically. Remember this: the New York Mets have a gigantic payroll. and ain't won jack.
Yep.
Why? Because they were a hot mess. It ain't all about money. Tampa Bay ain't got no money, and Tampa Bay still wins anyway. It's you have
Blue
to
Jays,
have,
we have unlimited money, and we ain't never
you
win.
have to have a good organization. You do. And shout out to you, Jaka. Congrats on last
We're a
week's
perfect
session.
example of the other way. We're the same as the Mets. We can't do.
No, we're not as bad as the Mets. The Mets are a special case.
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't.
We were in the World Series last year.
We've had the top
Mets
five
are the
payrolls
Mets.
for the last 35 years.
We're in
We've won.
the World Series.
Yeah, no, we had one good year. I'm saying, we're still a hot
Where were
mess.
you in the 2017s when we were like all over?
Yeah, that
it?
was fine, but I'm saying we still didn't make it anywhere. Whatever, it doesn't matter, man. Unless you raise the trophy, who cares, man?
That ain't like the Mets. The Mets are a different ballgame.
Oh, the Mets are a different ballgame, but we're bottom
different
five,
ballgame.
I think, in considering our payroll and our production.
No chance.
We're a laughing stock. Let's go back to the desk.
What's going on with SpaceX?
Are we going back or no? I thought we were
We
going
have
back.
30 seconds to go.
Okay, Dara, what's up? No, we're not.
Palantir
we are.
time, guys. I guess I'll just prepare everybody here for PLTR earnings. So what we're going to see here, 4:05 p.m. Again, this is really the biggest name that's coming after the bell. You've got ON on semiconductor as well, and Snapchat at 4:10. Palantir is really what we care about here, but we also care about VinFast. Thank you very much to our friends at VFS for sponsoring this portion of the show, for supporting us. 3, 2, 1, ding, 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 ding. The bell is closed for the day. Thanks to VinFast. Thanks for all of you guys for staying with us. We're going to go over Palantir earnings, so let's talk about what we're expecting here. 1.633 billion was last quarter's sales. That was up 85% year over year. Now this quarter, we're expecting revenue of 1.81 billion, which would imply roughly 80% year over year growth. Now, if they slow down their year over year growth, that's going to be the first year over year growth slowdown in revenue for Palantir in at least 10 quarters. That is significant. Keep an eye on that. We're expecting earnings here of 35 cents per share. That would be slight sequential growth here from the 33 cents per share that was reported on an adjusted basis last quarter. Commercial revenue grew by 133% year over year last quarter. Government revenue grew by 84% year over year last quarter, with overall U.S. revenue growing by 104% year over year. Now, they also raised their fiscal 2026 sales guidance last quarter. They're now expecting fiscal 26 sales guidance, or sales here, between 7.65 billion to 7.662 billion. That's going to be above estimates. Let's wait and see here what PLTR gives us. Again, that expected earnings to happen at 4:05 p.m. So I'll stay with you guys through that. How are you doing, Sean?
I'm doing fine. Yeah. Thanks, Adair. Yeah, we'll just wait. I mean, as soon as we get the numbers, we'll get that. We just got Diamondback Energy, so FANG is now out. So we can have a quick little look on this one. We're not going to go over. This is not. Neil's already gone, so we're gonna wait. Joe will pipe in if there's anything happening. 198 up to 201 right now for FANG. We also wait for Snapchat to come out pretty soon right here. Snapchat still doing nothing. We'll wait to see if that name starts to hit. I do have Palantir out. Palantir, I think, is out maybe right now. It just shot up to maybe not. Only 127.60. Just saw some action there on PLTR. VRTX just coming out reporting as well. We can have a quick look at Vertex. Okay, nothing going on there. We just wait for Palantir, and we'll just wait to see where it goes. So that's 127 and change. Looking out for that Palantir number, and when we get it, we'll give it to you, man. A lot of volume kicking out here in the after hours with PLTR. So we'll give that a little bit of a look now and give it a go, right? Especially if we do take out some of those highs. I mean, for me, key levels to look at. I mentioned today 140 I thought we could probably get to on a good report, and then it's a matter of holding. And then you'd always like to see us take out the 200 period, but who knows? All right, so I don't know if there's any other names reporting that were of any interest. I have my ears plugged in. We are going to stay just a little bit late to find out if Palantir is moving around, and right now it's not. So
yeah,
what's
Snap
up?
at 405. Snap at 410. ON on semi at 405. Neither of those are massive names, but I will have some content for you guys on Snapchat for earnings on X at TTV Research. But in the meantime, we're just waiting for PLTR. I've been checking their website, Benzinga and X, equal amounts. I'm not seeing anything here yet, but I will the second anything comes out.
Yep. Okay, perfect. So yeah, the minute something does come out, Joe and I, maybe we can comment a little bit on Palantir. But you know, the numbers are what the numbers are, right, Joe? I mean, if the trade goes the other way, did you see anything, Joe, on the options today, or were you looking?
Yeah, I can actually bring it up right now. The narrative has changed a little bit, Katina, man, but this 130 marker here on Palantir
Right.
Definitely looks like a little bit of a supply zone. But I mean, if we step outside the expected move, then we'll definitely surpass that. But 130 most definitely looking like we have the most amount of open interest at that level. So 23,000 contracts there with 30,000. You can just see the discrepancy between this 130 compared to all of these other ones. So this is definitely a level. If we do decide to climb a little bit higher, I'd be keeping an eye out here, even though it's only a couple of points away at this point, Katina, man. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we have the ability, if the street likes the report, that it can absorb that and continue to move higher.
Yeah, I think the average moved 12%, right? So that 130 probably should get taken out at some point. People in the chat saying 406. So we'll wait to see if that does come out. We're shortly expecting earnings from Palantir. We're expecting earnings from Snapchat as well here today. So we're going to try to stay with you until we do get that. Adair is locked and loaded on Twitter, on various financial websites to get these numbers when and if they do come out. Well, not if, they will. So it's a matter of when those numbers will come out. And we're also just looking back here. We're not going to forget about Snapchat either. And I have my ear plugged in here to the our news feed as well. So if that does come out, we will get that. But you know what caught a bid? Oh my God. Is this tomorrow already? Like SpaceX, what? And you want to talk about turning on the machines right there. SpaceX, like, I know Neil over there, people are calling him Negative Neil and everything in the chat, but he couldn't, yeah, he was just hating on Palantir and wasn't even really, listening to some of the upside there for SpaceX, sorry, not Palantir. There it goes. Okay, there was Palantir. Palantir is now out. There it goes, Joe, right into our 130 area. Starting to go back up to the upside, backing into 127 right now.
There we
Palantir
go.
dumping around. We can go to Adair. Let's go.
Yeah, I have the earnings report out here, so I'm actually just going to show you guys the earnings report live because we can. Palantir here, U.S. revenue up 115% year over year. That's better growth than we had last quarter, and 23% quarter over quarter. Again, guys, this is just U.S. revenue, but this is the more closely watched part, so we'll start with this. U.S. commercial revenue up 149% year over year. U.S. government revenue up 90% year over year. So we still have commercial revenue at this point growing faster than government revenue, which we didn't used to have. Government revenue still outpacing commercial revenue, though. Now, overall revenue, guys, this is not just U.S. across the company, 93% year-over-year growth to $1.935 billion. That is above estimates of $1.81 billion. So nice growth there for revenue. For PLTR, they closed 220 deals valued at least $1 million each. Commercial remaining deal value for Palantir up 124% year over year, 47% GAAP income margin, adjusted income with a 62% margin. This is a good look here across the board for PLTR. Let's see for guidance. They're guiding Q3 revenue between $2.16 billion to $2.164 billion. This would be their first quarter of more than $2 billion in revenue for fiscal 2026. Guys, I mentioned maybe raising their guidance. They hiked it again. They were guiding $7.6 billion for fiscal 2026. They're now guiding revenue for fiscal 26 between $8.15 billion and $8.158 billion. They also hiked their U.S. commercial revenue outlook, raised their adjusted income outlook. This fiscal 2026 year outlook is great for PLTR. This is the entirety of the report here, guys. It's all better than expected, far as I can see.
That's fantastic, Adair. I think what's really helping move this stock right now is that raising the full year guidance. You hit those numbers obviously on the head. I mean, you're guiding now, increasing it to $8.15 billion. So, I mean, that's up from what we've seen the previous.
I mean, it's hitting those levels that we thought. I mean, we were talking about getting to that 140 level. So here we go, man. A better commercial. I mean, again, like if you rewind this to 8:30 when we were first talking about Palantir this morning, I was mentioning that we needed those commercial names to get higher, right? And so those contracts came through. So it looks like on the commercial side now, I'm not going to outpace the government, but we know the government contracts are sticky. They're not going anywhere. So any new sort of agreement that Palantir can come up with, new business model, so on and so forth, there goes Palantir up to, and remember, it was like, I wanted something more. So it's nice to see now that they're getting back into the business side of it rather than just government contracts. And again, the better than expected guide and look forward. I mean, I know that people, Palantir is associated with not wartime or anything like that. It's just their software is used, in the space. So unfortunately, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I don't feel that we're getting any safe or anything out there. So Palantir is going to be used by many and is currently used by many of the governments worldwide. And again, every single time you put your software, your ideas into a large language model. All it's doing is learning your business processes and making their models better and then spitting out how you use it to somebody else. Palantir does not do that. I think there's some definite windfalls there with Palantir, and the numbers are right on the board right now. I like the stock. You're not in this name though, right, Joe? Or
I'm not in Palantir.
Is there a level that you'd get interested in, or it's just not something?
You know what? Honestly, like, listen, anytime you raise your guidance like Palantir just did, and then you have triple-digit growth across the board, I mean, right now it's cheap to the street, right? So that's why I think it's going on a little bit of a move here. So, I mean, is it a name that I'm interested in? Not necessarily, but I think if you are, now's not a horrible time to get involved. It's been down quite a bit for the whole year, down 45%, right?
Yeah, I mean, here it goes. I guess those longs that we had right before the close seem to be fine. But of course, we lost to them. So there it goes. Nice upside there for Palantir. And are we out yet on Snapchat or no? Okay, so puff, pass on that one. Nice move there for Palantir, up to 136. The numbers are right there on the board. We will be covering all of this and much more, Joe. Yeah, are you in tomorrow, my guy?
Of course, man. When am I not? When
are you not? Okay,
yeah.
Double check the vacation planning there. But you have anything coming up soon, or you're off in the next couple of weeks, though? No.
No, I don't. I might have removed that, man. And we'll save the couple of days for when it starts to get a little bit colder out. But other than that,
I'm just saying, because summertime. I mean, it's not long enough summertime around here.
Well, I know, man.
But
see, that's the thing. Exactly, you save those days for when it starts to get cold again. So
that's a good point. I took one of the last weeks off, I think, in December. So, which you're covering for me. So
yeah, I know. Hey, man, congratulations, because I usually go away around that time. So
well, let me know.
No. Seriously, I'm not going this year. So because I usually.
Are you going skiing at all, or?
I can't knee, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have a bad knee. Yeah, snowboarding maybe. No, it's just as hard snowboarding. Trying to get up there. You know what? We'll just let our significant others ski, and you and I will chill in the chalet.
Exactly. There we go.
We'll monitor. We'll be like Randy, where we'll supervise
and then our
significant others skiing.
And then just use the FSD. So
look, someone's got to make sure that the bartender knows how to make like a Negroni properly and all that. So you and I can be all over that one. All right, one last look.
Yeah, Snapchat's out here. Yeah.
Okay, so here's Snapchat out. Let's have a quick little look at the stock, and then we'll go over there. There it is again. Snapchat. Come over to my screen, then we'll go over to Dara. Snapchat right now up 16% and starting to go. Just like Thanos, though, this could get chopped in half. Let's go find out what Adara's up to.
Let's take a look at this Thanos Snap. Revenue up 19% year over year to just shy of 1.6 billion. Net loss 164 million. That's going to be a better net loss than what we saw last year. Adjusted EBITDA more than 5 times what it was last year. 250 million up from 41 million last year. Operating cash flow 176 million, way better than the 88 million reported last year. Free cash flow, again, this is like 5x what we had last year. So lots of strong year-over-year growth here for Snap. They have not, this is going to be dicey, guys. They did not provide an EQ3 outlook. They'll be discussing it during their call. Keep an eye on that, because that can sometimes be a bit of a flag.
There's a couple of things here that I think are modest, Katina, man. Daily active users increased 5% to 493 million.
I think
5% is what they've been generally growing at recently, though. So it's not great, but it's not a decline. That's been the last couple quarters.
That's what I'm saying. It's modest. You know what I mean? It's nothing like crazy from a growth standpoint. And Adara, to add to your point a little bit there, they did get a little bit of a boost here from the World Cup, but other than that, nearly 7% decline in North American daily active users. So that's not the best look.
I know neither of you are blessed to have children yet, but Snapchat is used like by my kids like almost all the time. Like that's all, and by Joe, yeah, I think.
There's about 4 or 5% of the daily active users right there.
Yeah, so about my 2 kids. No, but every time they're going, like they just got back from camp, and it's like they don't ask, they just say, "What's your Snap?" Like it's literally they're not using Instagram, they're not using WhatsApp, they're not using anything. They're using Snapchat. I can wholeheartedly say that. It's not just my kids. It's like it's all over. Like when my daughter goes to hockey tournaments, everybody's running Snapchat. They're running the groups and everything. Snapchat's like the adult version of like. It's a kid's version of WhatsApp. Like we're all in these WhatsApp groups. Yeah. My kids are all in these Snapchat groups. So Snapchat up 17.5%. One last look here, 17.5% on that one. And then our good friend, and I can see in the chat, many people do not like Palantir, which I can understand that. That is fine. Up to 135 there, Palantir today. So good couple reports. Nothing to complain about. Adara, thank you for all your hard work today. It's been fantastic. Sia in the background as well. And Joe, thank you for sticking back for a couple minutes there as Neil had to run as he got baseball tonight. And I have it tomorrow night, so we'll see about how late we're going to stay for that one. I'm excited for SpaceX, though. See what that's going to do tomorrow. I think that's going to be a report that not only are we interested in the report, but also the conference call, right? To see like exactly what questions they're asking Mr. Elon Musk. It's funny, we have Elon one day, Alex Karp the day before. So a lot of interesting things.
And the expected questions for SpaceX, I must remind you guys, I'm not making these up. They're on the website. They're real weird. They are real weird.
I love the painting of the rocket different colors, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these investors are concerning me with these questions, and Elon can be kind of mean on the earnings call, so I wouldn't be watching if I submitted some of those.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen.
What are you thinking for SpaceX tomorrow, Katina, man, before we close it off?
So I don't really know what to think about for SpaceX, actually. It's a good question because I was just saying that I don't know what they're going to release. Like, I don't even know what metrics they have. Like, all I was saying to Neil earlier was just that I'm looking for timelines. Like, everyone's saying, oh, you put your money into SpaceX, it's basically just going to sit there for 10 years until they finally figure out how to make money themselves. But if that timeline's been bumped up, what does Starlink look like? How much money's coming out of there? You know, what does that expansion look like? Do they have a footprint? We've seen AT&T and Verizon and some of these other names, Joe, getting hit because, you know, people are now, I'm assuming, switching over internet up into the satellites up there, you know? What if some of their recent acquisitions, Starlink's made a couple acquisitions, how have those turned out? And then, you know, what is the per, another metric we're looking at is how much does it cost per ton? And I don't know if this is released,
Still,
you know, to actually launch these rockets up into the air. And as that can come more and more, you know, can become more efficient with that kind of a number, then maybe that helps spike them just a little bit. And then also, Neil's talking about this as well, you know, the Tesla talk. I don't even know what that means.
Merger,
what does that merge look like? Why as a Tesla shareholder am I excited about that? And why as a SpaceX shareholder am I excited about that? I could just go and buy both companies right now. So I'm interested to hear what that looks like and just what kind of interesting numbers SpaceX has for us and what to look forward to in the future. So I don't really want to go in with too much of an opinion. I think I'm like you. I bought some at 170. Or no, 170 day 1 or 2, and then 135. And now we hold on for dear life.
You know what? Before we sign off here, I just don't. It's going to be a really tough look, depending on how the street perceives this capital expenditure in XAI. If they don't like it and there's no other form of income coming in, I understand they're selling some to Anthropic and OpenAI for pennies on the dollars, essentially. So if that's bleeding, then the street might.
Actually, forgot about the XAI thing. Yeah, like let's find out what exactly that compute is looking like. Right?
Exactly.
Because we just heard that Meta's trying to sell, so all of a sudden now, you know, but the thing about XAI is they have the contracts. Like they can have all that compute power. They can actually sell it back to Tesla, right? I mean, things like that. So we'll find out where the customers are. And you always need customers if you're selling something. So that'll be very, very important. Thank you so much to everybody for staying with us. Thank you, Joe, again, Brendan, everybody that we've seen. And a big congratulations to Ramin, who dropped a very, very important note today that she will soon be a mother. And we're very excited to have Ramin's little child running around here pulling out wires and making Fabian's nightmare you know, a reality. As next thing you know, all these, we're going to go dark and it's going to be Fabian's cute kid running, or Fabian's cute kid, Ramin's cute kid running around here.
Editing videos.
So, anyways, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks to Derek for everything, and Sia in the back, Fabian, Tiffany, Andre, everybody that's helping us there. Oh, I noticed one wasn't here today.
One was not here. I got a video. Maybe we'll show everyone tomorrow when he's here.
Okay, we'll see everybody tomorrow then. All right, 8 a.m. bright and early. Ciao till then. We'll see you guys.
See you.